there side by side for second at the stripe. Hurt go hard into the outside wall there in turn 4. And the 76 of Heminger may have came down a little bit too. That's a see Piper now coming back with the 48 and passing Brian Shipp. He's had to wait 7 weeks of racing, but for the first time in 2023, Bariotti takes the checkered flag. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Jennerstown Speedway. Are you ready to go racing tonight? It's the UARA Motor Mountain Masters 150. I'm Nate Rigotti. Alongside me tonight, Colton Tobias, Steve Borowski up here in the booth as we get set for the annual Motor Mountain Masters, a special edition of racing here at the Jennerstown Speedway Complex on Thursday night. Welcome in our general manager, Jared Adams. Jared, congratulations. You've put together a great event. We're ready to go racing here tonight, my friend.
I can't take much credit for that. I mean, we have a really great team built around us that really came together to put this entire event together. Can't thank Ricky Brooks with UARA and his entire team. They've been fantastic this entire weekend. Not even weekend. It's during the week. They've been great this entire Wednesday and Thursday that we've been here. So it's been a great show. Thank you to our local drivers that are coming. Thank you to all these out-of-towners that came in with all their busy schedules and ready to do this big race.
This is a tremendous racetrack to have this event at. A half-mile racetrack nestled into the mountains of southwestern Pennsylvania. This track's been around for a long time. A lot of history here at Jennerstown Speedway.
Absolutely. Long time, a lot of history, a lot of drivers that have come through here. This is Eric Jones' first time coming to the Motor Mountain Masters or Jennerstown Speedway in general. So he's going to enjoy some speed on our straightaways because I know when he raced at Berlin, it's a lot of corners. Oxford Speedway, same thing. It's very round. This is a high-speed half-mile oval, and they're going to put on a show for you guys.
Welcome in our viewers on Racing America tonight, where the race will be streamed as well. As a part of the show, our one-stop auto sales Pro Stocks, one of the weekly series here at Jennerstown Speedway. They'll roll off first tonight. You can see the super late models that will be taking part in the UARA Motor Mountain Masters. First time that this event has been a sanctioned UARA event. They've previously ran this on Saturdays as a late model race, but this year making it a super late model race in conjunction with UARA has brought some different drivers here tonight, Jared, and some pretty spectacular drivers at that.
Yeah, and that was the goal. I've had a lot of people ask me over the last couple weeks, why on a Thursday? And the drivers that you see in front of you is why. Eric Jones would not be here if this was a Saturday night. Johnny Sauter probably wouldn't be here if this is a Saturday night. Same thing with Shotco. These guys are all running different races, and just to bring some new names in here and bring some different cars on the track and really bring like the superstardom aspect to this race on top of the locals that are competing in this too. I mean, they're down horsepower, but they're working on their cars and adding weight here and there, taking it away from some spots. And over the long run, we're going to see how competitive these guys are with the super late models and their pro late models.
You've mentioned some of the names, but some of the names racing tonight in the Motor Mountain Masters. You said Eric Jones, Cup Series driver. Johnny Sauter, former two-time Truck Series champion. One of the best late model racers in the country right now, and Bubba Pollard is here tonight. You got some big names with some great race cars, by the way. They're going to put on a great show.
Absolutely. I mean, these guys are pretty tight in the qualifying, so I think it's going to be a nice tight pack, especially with a little bit of an invert towards the front. Looking forward to these first couple laps getting just kind of seeing how this pack forms and how they race, and then a lot of movement throughout the field throughout the night.
Nice crowd pouring into the stands here as we get set for the Motor Mountain Masters here at Jennerstown Speedway. Going to be a great event for you tonight. Just want to thank Jared, Ricky with the series. Really, really cool to have all these folks here at Jennerstown Speedway. For our fans in the stands, it's time to get our pre-race ceremonies started. At this time, fans, will you please rise for our invocation? Delivering tonight's invocation, please welcome onto the racetrack Chris Brink.
Good evening. Join me in acknowledging our Heavenly Father. Lord, we stand in reverence before you. We acknowledge that you are the creator of every good and beautiful thing, and by your grace only we are blessed. So we humbly ask for your blessing on this evening's event. We particularly ask for your mercy for our guest competitors that chose to spend their time, energy, and resources to be at our beautiful facility for Thursday night racing. May they feel blessed and welcome to be here. Bless and protect all the race teams, the drivers, and the race families that sacrifice so much to be part of this great sport. Protect the track officials and the safety teams and the track workers and all these fans. Heavenly Father, place your hedge of protection around our military men and women around this world and the police and first responders here at our community. And Heavenly Father, we ask for your traveling mercies when we leave this place tonight. Lord, we ask and in faith receive in the mighty name of your Son, our Savior, Jesus Christ. And all the people said, Amen.
And now, singing tonight's national anthem, please welcome Paisley Travelina.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, oh, the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Great job, Paisley. Thank you so much. Thank you to Chris for the invocation. Fans, we are ready to go racing here at Jennerstown Speedway on the Motor Mountain. It's the annual Motor Mountain Masters. We're going to step aside on Racing America. When we come back, we'll have the starting lineup and the cars coming out on the track at our one-stop auto sales Pro Stock feature in just a moment from Jennerstown Speedway.
Hi, I'm Eric Jones, and you're watching Racing America.
Friday, July 12th, it's the first kids' night of the summer at Spencer Speedway. All children 12 and under get in free. Come see the Race of Champions Sportsmen, Super Stocks, 602 Sportsmen, Fast and Furious 4-cylinders, and the Super Sixes. And the Race of Champions late models return to the half mile, where every lap counts. Brought to you by the Race of Champions, Wilbur Chupolit, Billy Whitaker Ford, and Ferris Mowers. Friday night, July 12th, kids' night at the races. Spencer Speedway, racing at 7:15 p.m. You can't miss it.
5-star bodies, the most advanced bodies on the market, aerodynamically engineered, manufactured from the highest grade and lightest weight materials, tested tough for optimum performance, the highest quality and most durable products you'll find anywhere. Our products help racers around the world reach victory lane. Winning never looked so good. Faster, Lighter, stronger, better. 5-star.
The Northwest Super Late Models return to Mission Valley Super Oval Friday and Saturday, July 12th and 13th for the 33rd Annual Montana 200. See the West Coast's best grassroots racers as they compete for $10,000 to win as a part of the Montana Big 5 Super Series. It's the Montana 200 paying $10,000 to win at Mission Valley Super Oval Friday and Saturday, July 12th and 13th. For more information, go to missionvalleysuperoval.com. And you can catch it only on RacingAmerica.tv. Be at White Mountain Motorsports Park on Sunday, July 14th for the return of the Pro All-Star Series. See past Super Late Models, past Modifieds, and the New England Super Modifieds as they take on the treacherous North Woodstock High Banks. It's the Past Spectacular featuring 150 laps for the past Super Late Models and lots more at White Mountain Sunday, July 14th. Racing starts at 3, and you can catch it only on RacingAmerica.tv.
Back here on Racing America, you see the Conemaugh MedStar helicopter has just made its landing here at our racetrack. And just so our fans know in the stands too, that's just a standby. They like to come stage here during our races just in case anything would happen. And hopefully we won't need to use them, but very cool that those guys bring out and are on standby here at our racetrack just in case. And sometimes they do have to go to other emergencies while they're staged here. And sometimes the helicopter does have to lift off. But thank you so much to Conemaugh MedStar for staging here tonight and parking that helicopter right in the middle of our pits in the infield. First up tonight, we'll have the One Stop Auto Sales Pro Stock feature. One Stop Auto Sales and Collision Center is our presenting sponsor for our Pro Stock division. Their team is made up of automotive professionals that you can trust, and we guarantee a hassle-free, satisfying car buying experience. They look forward to serving you in the near future. Thank you so much to our friends at One Stop Auto Sales Pro Stock. So you see on the shot here on Racing America that there's a huge dice out there. We're not ready to roll it yet. What's going to happen here tonight, our friend Steve Borowski's down there guarding it, making sure nobody touches it. But something very cool that they've come up with here between our officials, talking to race director Bobby Henry here. They're going to roll out the One Stop Auto Sales Pro Stocks. They're going to come out in the way that they qualified. So we did do single car qualifying prior to coming on the air here on Racing America. And they'll come out in that order. There's 8 Pro Stocks in tonight's race. They'll come out in the order, and they'll park on the front stretch. You see that the Toyota Pace Truck, thanks to Laurel Automotive Group. The Pace Truck going to bring the cars out onto the track. And as they come out here, in the order they qualified, they're going to park on the front stretch. They don't know what the starting order is going to be. And they're going to park on the front stretch, and they're going to roll that dice to see what the invert will be. The fastest car in qualifying was actually the points leader in this One Stop Auto Sales Pro Stock division, Aaron Van Fleet in that 5 car. Van Fleet with 2 feature wins this season in 8 races, also has 8 top 5 finishes, has just a 2-point lead over Dan Campbell, who qualified in the 2nd position. So Van Fleet is bringing that 5 car out here. He's the only one who's rolled. The 93 of Campbell just coming out of the pits now off of your screen on Racing America. Dunmeyer as well. So you see these cars coming out here. We don't know the starting lineup yet until they roll the dice, and then we will know the invert. While we have time, do want to thank some other sponsors that make racing in the One Stop Auto Sales Pro Stock division possible. Thank you to Allied Milk Producers, TriStar of Somerset, Daniel Schaefer's in Hooversville, Laurel Toyota, Lias Tire, Hummingbird Industrial Supplies, and Mission Critical Solutions. You'll hear a couple of those names tonight as they're also presenting sponsors of our Motor Mountain Masters feature event later on tonight. The super lates already lined up on pit road, ready to go as the Pro Stocks line up here on the front stretch, ready to go as well. Jared, our general manager, Jared Adams, joining me in the booth while these Pro Stocks get set. Again, we've talked about how exciting it is to have some of these big-name drivers like Bubba Pollard and Evan Shotko and Eric Jones, Johnny Sauter here today. But our local drivers also getting a shot in the Motor Mountain Masters this year as well.
Yeah, that's something we like doing every year. We like putting a division or 2 of our local racers in here. kind of spices up the show a little bit, showcases our divisions to some fans that may not come here on a regular Saturday night. And we encourage you to do so this Saturday, next Saturday, and all the Saturdays until September, because we have a lot of really great stuff going on. And looks like these cars are down there. I'm not sure when we're going to roll that dice, but it looks like it's going to be pretty soon.
Yeah, I think we're about close there. As you see, the Pro Stocks have parked there on the front stretch, getting ready for this moment where we'll know what the invert is. A really cool die, by the way, that belongs to the UARA National Series that they're going to use in their race. We said, hey, we mind using that, and we saw them roll it for the Motor Mountain Masters before we came on the air, and that thing, it can roll a little bit, and it's been windy. First of all, we're up here on the mountain, and the wind's been rolling. So Steve Borowski is trackside. Steve, are we ready down there to roll the dice?
I think we're ready down here, Nate. Thank you so much. Thank you, Jared. Thank you, Nate. And race fans, thank you for coming out here on Thursday night to watch our UARA Motor Mountain Masters along with our one-stop auto sales Pro Stocks. And right now, you saw earlier we did our qualifying lap by lap, car by car. But right now, we're going to roll this dice, and we're going to determine how we're going to flip the field, how we're going to invert that field, and how we're actually going to line up. What you see right now is how these guys qualified in their time trials. But I pulled a random fan out of the stand, some guy that I know that I've seen a couple races here before, so I had a little trust in him that he knows what he do. Let's welcome my friend Justin, who comes down here, and he's going to be our ceremonial dice roller tonight. How are you tonight, my friend?
Doing amazing.
Great. Hey, thank you for coming out here tonight. You've probably seen these guys race before, have you not?
Yes, I have.
All right. Who would you say out of these guys is your fan favorite?
Aaron Van Fleet.
All right. I just randomly picked him. I interviewed him after, and I said, who's your favorite driver? And it just happens to be the guy currently sitting on the pole. So we're going to roll this dice here in just a second. And we're going to see how we invert this field. Justin, are you ready for this? All right, pick that thing up, give it a nice toss, and let's see how it lands. All right, our numbers for Justin. Thank you so much. Enjoy the race. Appreciate you coming out tonight. And our official number for our inversion tonight is number 4. Ladies and gentlemen, please take a seat. Enjoy the race. I'll see you up at the booth here in a minute, Nate. And we're going to give this microphone back to my friend. Give this man some props. Mr. Colton Tobias, you did a great job in that interview out there with our Cup driver, Mr. Eric Jones. So good luck to all of our drivers tonight. Thank you, fans, for coming out. And Colton, it's all yours.
Thank you very much, Steve. So 4 positions will be inverted. So let's, as they'll roll off here, we'll introduce this starting lineup to you. So on the pole now, driving the 50 car from Acme, Pennsylvania, it'll be Jeff Giles. Starting second from Somerset in the 07, Josh Dunmeyer. Starting third from Somerset in the 93, Dan Campbell. And starting fourth from Scottdale in the 5, it's Aaron Van Fleet. Starting 5th from Brownsville in the 52, it's Nacho Nate Valenti. Starting 6th from Davidsville in the 76, it's Darren Mozzie. Starting 7th from Morgantown, West Virginia, it's the 53 of Cody Rose. And Michael Mole in the 38 will roll off 8th. He's from Johnstown, Pennsylvania. You see the Laurel Automotive Group Toyota Pace truck ready to roll here as the cars on the front stretch. They'll have to sort themselves out. You see Giles, the red Toyota there, peeking his way out. He gets to take the pole position after the invert, then Dunmeyer, then Campbell, then Van Fleet, then the rest of the starting lineup. Fastest car in qualifying, we said, was Aaron Van Fleet. He ran a time of 25.44. That was enough for the pole. That was his best practice time, by the way. That was not his pole setting time. So not only was he the fastest in practice, he was the pole sitter. So that 5 car is one of the ones to beat, but Jeff Giles in that 50 out there will get to start on the pole after the invert. I'm Nate Rigotti alongside Steve Borowski for tonight's broadcast here on Racing America. Colton Tobias will join us on pit road in just a little bit. Steve, really excited for our races here tonight. Not just the Motor Mountain Masters, but getting things started off with our one-stop auto sales pro stock division.
I tell you what, Nate, thanks for being up here with me tonight, and we're looking forward to a great night of racing. One of my favorite divisions here at Jennerstown is our one-stop auto sales pro stocks. I know some of these guys were looking forward to tonight. They were looking forward to the extra laps. The inversion might have thrown them off a little, but it's going to make things interesting.
Certainly will. These cars, they look like late models. They have the late model body, run a little bit different tire, smaller engine as well, so not quite as much horsepower in these things. This division was brought to Jennerstown Speedway now 3 years ago, kind of as a stepping stone to get into one of the pro late models that we run here at Jennerstown Speedway on a normal Saturday night. You see the lights are out on that Laurel Automotive Group Toyota Pace truck. Lights are out around the racetrack. We're ready to go green flag racing. 30 laps the distance in our one-stop auto sales pro stock feature. As they come to turn number 3, the cars will enter the Memorial Highway Chevrolet restart zone, and we're about to get underway. The first green flag of the evening. Giles on the inside, Dunmeyer on the outside, and we're underway on the night of the Motor Mountain Masters. Giles and Dunmeyer still side by side as Giles clears that 07. Dan Campbell in the 93 quickly getting up there underneath the 07 of Dunmeyer to challenge for the second position. Van Fleet in that 5 car waiting back there in 4th. It'll be Jeff Giles that leads lap number 1.
Yeah, Giles takes that lead real quick, and our side-by-side for that second position is the 93 of Campbell and the 07 of Dunmeyer. I had talked to Campbell today. He said his car was ready to go. He figured everything out from his past few weeks, and he quickly jumped up where he's gone just a little bit, about half car length past Dunmeyer for that second spot.
We were up here yesterday for practice. It was hot. The track was slick. The times weren't there. A lot more grip in this racetrack today, a lot more cloud cover, and of course running later in the day, there's going to be a little bit more speed in this track than there was yesterday during practice. As you see the 5 of Aaron Van Fleet now challenging for the 3rd position. He gets up underneath the 07 of Dunmeyer and does take that 3rd spot away, and quickly going to work on the 93 of Dan Campbell. The front 4 that we inverted are all running nose to tail as Van Fleet takes a look inside of the 93.
Yeah, they're slowly falling back into place how they originally qualified tonight. The 50 of Giles is up front, but Van Fleet is closing in real quick, and he's making the challenge for that second spot with Dan Campbell in what he calls the ace car.
Almost 3 wide there for a moment. Van Fleet had second thoughts as he backs out of the throttle as Campbell goes to the outside of the 50 of Giles. Here's what the fans who aren't here every single Saturday night need to know about this racetrack. As for a short half-mile racetrack, there are 2 grooves here. You can run a bottom groove and a top groove, and you see Campbell use it right there, carry his momentum through turn number 2, and he takes the lead down the backstretch.
Yeah, Campbell's got that car tuned in, and it's definitely showing here as he comes into turn 3. Van Fleet as well, he's showing that, hey, I started and qualified on the pole, and I want to be back up in that front spot as he comes to the start-finish line in 2nd place.
Yeah, wasting no time. Van Fleet gets around the 50 of Giles. 2 car lengths separate 1st and 2nd as they start to pull away from the 50 and the 07. Again, Van Fleet fastest in practice and fastest in qualifying. The invert put him 4th. He's worked his way up to 2nd now. These 2 cars that are leading the pack, both Campbell and Van Fleet, are separated by just 2 points in the weekly standings in this division here at Jennerstown Speedway. And right now, they're showing why. They're in front of the pack right now running 1-2.
Absolutely. Our 1st and 2nd position, it seems to be the battle, and then just about a second back, it appears our battle for 3rd right now is between the 50 of Giles and the 07 of Dunmeyer as they come across the start-finish line, and they maintain the same position.
Campbell and Van Fleet pulling away from the 50 of the 07, and around goes Michael Mole all by himself in turn number 4, and that'll bring out the caution. With 22 laps to go, Michael Mole spins all alone in turn 4, and we have our first yellow flag of the evening. That'll bunch these cars all right back up.
Yeah, that's something I don't think Campbell in the 93 wanted to see here, as he had a great run, and he was being challenged there by the 5 of Van Fleet. But I think the rest of the field back was a little anxious for this, so they hopefully get regrouped and figure out what line they're going to run and what position they want to take, and hopefully create a little bit more close racing here.
New rule this year at Jennerstown as well is the choose cone. If the fans in the stands want to take a look to the right of the start-finish line, you see a yellow triangle there. The cars will get to choose if they want to start on the bottom row or the top row. We'll do that with 1 lap to go, so this will not be the choose lap here. When they come to 1 to go, they'll get to make their choice. Not doing that this time around, as Dan Campbell will get to be the first one to choose, although it looks like they are choosing already. At least it looks like they are for now. So glad to have you here at Jennerstown Speedway, running our one-stop auto sale pro stock division to open things up tonight before we get to 150 laps in our annual Motor Mountain Masters, a super late model race this year. See the 52 of Nacho Nate Valenti has pulled onto pit road, got his car checked out. Now he'll pull back out onto the track. Catching up with the dune buggy there is that Laurel Automotive Group Toyota Pace truck comes down front stretch looking good. Choose cone here. Everybody, that's not choose cone yet. We got to wait 1 more lap.
I'll tell you who's trying to figure out the most here right now, Nate, is our Pace truck driver. He's used to driving around his TriStar Motors Ford F-150 around his track, but tonight he's driving his Laurel Auto Group Toyota. So he's trying to figure out the buttons and the pedals, and I told him I'd probably all about the same. But it's a little something different for him, so he's looking forward to this as well tonight.
Yeah, it's a nice-looking Toyota leading this field right now, and if you're looking for one of those Toyotas, make sure you check out our friends at Laurel Automotive Group. Thanks to those folks for being great sponsors of the race here tonight. They are looking for debris on the racetrack. That's why we are still not ready to get the 1 to go sign. Dune buggy did make the turn back into the pits, so next time by we will do the choose cone.
All right, while we're waiting for that final lap here, I'm going to give a little shout out to our other one-stop auto sales pro stock sponsors. Big thank you to Allied Milk Producers, TriStar Somerset. Our friend Tom Bazala is in the stands here tonight representing them, so thank you, Tom. Good to see you. Daniel Schaefer's of Hooversville, Laurel Toyota, our Pace truck sponsor as well, Elias Tire, Hummingbird Industrial Supplies in Somerset, Mission Critical Solutions, as we get ready with 1 more lap to go back racing here hopefully soon.
All right, now we'll do this choose cone thing. See which way everybody wants to go. 1 to go sign. Campbell will take the inside. Van Fleet to the outside. There's your front row. Trowels inside. Dunmeyer outside. Second row. Mozzie inside. Rose inside. Valenti outside. So nothing out of the ordinary there, as Van Fleet will get to start on the front row with Campbell here. Those two have been the fastest, not just tonight, but pretty much all season, as we still have 22 laps to go. And for our fans of the stands, we do not count caution laps here at Jennerstown Speedway. So none of those pace laps counted as we get set to go back to green flag racing. Cars come to the Memorial Highway Chevrolet restart zone. That Toyota Pace truck makes the hard left turn onto pit road, and we're back underway.
And the green flag flies, and Dan Campbell takes a little bit of a jump on the inside as he goes into turn 1 with Van Fleet pulling up side by side, and now he looks like he's taking a little bit of a lead as they come out of turn 2.
Van Fleet, good run through turn 2, has not quite cleared the 93 of Campbell. They're still door-to-door through 3 and 4. Campbell running that lower line. Just a great job on exit here by Van Fleet. They're still wheel to wheel at the line.
Yeah, it's looking good for that first and second places. It's a drag race almost the entire way around the racetrack as Campbell and Van Fleet side by side. Turn 1, turn 2, turn 3, turn 4, front stretch, back stretch, and once again going into turn 3, side by side drag race going into turn 4.
Everybody else is spread out single file behind them. Best racing on the track is for the lead. Now Campbell clearing the 5 of Van Fleet here for a moment. Aaron might be taking his time here, trying to line him up. Still 20 laps to go in this race. That caution came out just 8 laps in. So got to pace yourself here to get through 30 laps.
Yeah, the 93, Dan Campbell went out of Mariserve and Vince Building. 93 car, he takes the lead as they come across, and he's in the middle of turn 2. Van Fleet in second, and at number 5 in that Ligonier construction car. And right behind them, it looks like closing in now is the 07 of Dunmire.
Now let's remember, on a normal Saturday night, these pro stocks usually only run 20 laps. So increasing it up to 30 laps here tonight on the night of the Motor Mountain Masters.
Yeah, and some of these guys came out in practice yesterday, and temperatures were a little bit different, actually a lot different yesterday, as we have much cooler temperatures, not much sun at all here tonight. So they probably had their setup set up last night and had to change things up today as they went out and qualified and in practice.
Great shot from the drone here on Racing America. Thanks to the whole crew here on Racing America, bringing you this action onto your device, onto your computer at home, onto your TV screen in your living room, wherever it may be. This action on Racing America, and thanks to the whole production crew for making it possible here today. With 16 laps to go in our Pro Stock feature race, still just a car length separating 1 and 2. Campbell in the 93, Van Fleet in the 5. They are still nose to tail as they come out of turn number 4 with 15 laps to go.
Yeah, our top 2 definitely separated themselves from the rest of the pack. Third place of Dunmire and the 4th place of Giles, and there's about a second or so lead, maybe 2-second lead between our top 2 and that 3rd and 4th spots.
Here goes Van Fleet to the inside of the 93, hugging that yellow line. They're side by side at the line once again. Campbell still with the advantage. Great shot from the turn 1 camera there, as they're still door to door out of turn number 2 and down the backstretch. This has been great racing from these top 2 cars.
Yeah, this has been great racing, and I'd hope they just realize that we're only halfway through the race. Right now, they'd only been about a quarter of the way through, but with this 30-lap race here tonight, hopefully they're not wearing themselves out too early.
Yeah, and you can see how on this short track there are 2 grooves here as Campbell continues to keep up with that 5 up on that high line. Some of the best drivers here will use that high line to get the run off the corner on some nights to earn victories. As this time it's Van Fleet at the stripe.
Yeah, these guys up front are making it interesting. It's tough from our view, Nate, to see the door numbers on that 93 as they go across the backstretch, and it's tough to see the door numbers on the 05 as they come across the front, as they are literally side by side.
11 laps to go at the line. Campbell and Van Fleet racing for the lead. It's the only contested position on the racetrack. Dunmire still running 3rd. Giles is 4th. And running in the 5th spot is Darren Mozzie in the 76. As Campbell now has cleared the 5 of Van Fleet once again. Aaron's gotten there twice, and both times Campbell's been able to clear him. Almost like Aaron's back there trying to make his next move, what he's got to do to get around that 93.
Kind of makes you wonder, Nate, if he's not trying to save himself a little bit, as we still have 9 laps to go in this 30-lap event. Campbell up front, Van Fleet just about a car length difference, but when we go back, we're almost 5 seconds behind with our 3rd place car of Dunmire, and then about another half a second back to our 4th place of Giles.
Some lap traffic in front of our leaders now. Cody Rose in the 53 and Michael Mole in the 38 going a lap down. As Campbell continues to pace the field here with 8 laps to go and a car length and a half between him and Aaron Van Fleet.
I didn't get to talk to Aaron here today, but listening to Dan talk about his car, he was saying that Ace, he had that figured out from a week or so ago and some of his troubles, and he felt that he had that car tuned in and he was looking good. He's definitely showing that here right now tonight.
Campbell hugging that yellow line as Van Fleet running right there with him. Less than a car length separating first and second place. With 7 to go, it'll be 6 to go at the line as they come out of turn number 4. Great racing up front between the 93 and the 5. Campbell and Van Fleet. Again, just 2 points separate them in the point standings. These two have been top of the class all season long and putting on a great show here tonight.
Yeah, 6 seconds back is our third place car, the 07 of Dunmeyer, and then much further back is the rest of the field as our two leaders continue to dominate and continue to drag race as they come across the start-finish line. And once again, the 93 takes that front position.
5 laps to go. Here comes Van Fleet. He's got the run to the inside. Here goes the 5. They're side by side into 3. Still there. Still there. Van Fleet not going away. Campbell going to run the higher lane here as Van Fleet trying to make his way around. He hugs that yellow line on the inside this time.
Van Fleet, Campbell, side-by-side drag racing, door handle to door handle as they go into turn 3. And the same as they go into turn 4, coming across, and it looks like a slight advantage to the Van Fleet car as he comes across start-finish line, and I don't know about that.
Campbell with a great run out of the corner on the high line, using that momentum to stay right there with him. Look at this, door-to-door through the corner, door-to-door down the backstretch. 3 laps to go, it'll be 2 to go at the line. There's 7 seconds in front of third place. The battle for the win is up front already. 2 to go this time by.
Has Van Fleet waited? Is his time to start showing him what he's got? Is that all he's got? We're about to find out. We have 2 laps to go.
I think Aaron's doing everything he can at this point. Really great, clean racing between these two so far, as well as they come to the white flag. Final lap here. Campbell trying to hang on. Van Fleet's been challenging this entire time, has not been able to get around him.
Van Fleet with just about half a lap to go, and does he have anything left for him as they go into turns 3?
This has been a tremendous race. Last chance for Van Fleet. I don't think he can get there. Checkered flag in the air. Dan Campbell holds off the 5 of Aaron Van Fleet in a tremendous start to the Motor Mountain Masters. 3rd place to Dunmeyer, 4th place to Giles, and coming home in the 5th position will be the 76 of Darren Mozzie, as that 53 of Rose is a lap down. The window net goes down, and that 93 of Campbell. Boy, Steve, what a great start to the night.
That was a great race there. Those top 2, they were drag racing. I would say 90% of that race, it was door-to-door or bumper-to-bumper. And they came out at the very end with a thrilling final lap, and it could have been anybody's this entire race.
Colton Tobias will be down in victory lane when we come back here on Racing America.
Unexpected car problems can be inconvenient and expensive. Introducing the Laurel Advantage. When you buy a newer pre-owned vehicle from any of our 7 Laurel Auto Group locations, you won't just get our best price and award-winning service, you'll also receive a lifetime powertrain warranty, discounts on service, parts and accessories, roadside assistance, shuttle service, paintless dent repair, windshield repair, key fob coverage, and much more. That's the all-new Laurel Advantage. Why buy a vehicle anywhere else?
The 93 of Dan Campbell has parked it on the front stretch. Picks up his 5th feature win of the season in the One-Stop Auto Sales Pro Stocks. Friends and family joining around that car here. Colton Tobias is down there next to that 93. Colton, take it away, my friend.
Well, the drive for 5 was not easy, Nate, but Dan Campbell delivers in a phenomenal race for the One-Stop Auto Sales Pro Stocks. Just thinking back to 1 year ago when the One-Stop Auto Sales Pro Stocks race after the Motor Mountain Masters, Dan Campbell and Aaron Van Fleet were battling Zane Farrell all the way to the very end, and then Aaron Van Fleet had some troubles, and Dan Campbell, I think, got a little caught off guard, went to the inside of Aaron Van Fleet, and he tried to get one final push on Zane Farrell, but it wasn't enough. But Dan Campbell comes out victorious this year to begin the Motor Mountain Masters as he completes the drive for 5 on the 2024 season as Dan Campbell climbs out of the car victorious. As he's getting some congratulations right now, as it's been a hot minute since Dan Campbell has seen victory lane, but he gets his 5th win on the 2024 season here tonight. As he's getting his cool down on his neck. It surely is a hot one here at Jennerstown Speedway. Getting congratulations all the way around. He's getting a drink of water as definitely is a hot one here tonight for the Motor Mountain Masters, just like what we had last year as well. Dan, wow, what a race. I don't even know where to start, you know, it just... All right, Dan, there you go.
Thank Aaron Van Fleet. Now that's how you race. That was some really good racing, tight racing. I knew it was going to be tough, but thank you, Aaron. Great job. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I mean, it wore me out, but I am probably twice his age, so good.
You placed second in the Motor Mountain Masters 1 year ago when you guys ran your race. How does it feel to come out victorious and also battle Aaron again, just like you did last year on the final lap?
Well, it feels great, and last year Aaron ran a tremendous race again, so did Zane. We were running third, Zane first, Aaron second, and on the last lap, Aaron got a little loose off it too. I was getting pretty free toward the end of this race, but I was able to get by Aaron, just didn't have enough time to get to Zane. I think I had something for him if we'd have went another lap or two. But we struggled. I mean, we had a fast hot rod early in the year. We had some issues, and I made a mistake there a couple weeks ago and got loose off it too and tore my car up and another car up, and I feel bad about that. We missed something the week in between, or 2 weeks in between, and we found it this past week, and I think it shows.
And Dan, I got your sponsor sheet right there, I believe.
I do. So I won't try not to take as long. AmeriServe, Vince Building Company, Caldrone Trucking, and they're the ones that put on the autism awareness. And guys, if you don't know, we have puzzle pieces available. Anybody that's affected by autism can come down to our pits, request a puzzle piece, put it on a car, sign a name on it, and we'll put it on our other car as well. We got Hildebrand Supply, Hortix Diesel Performance, Phillips Delivery Service. Mike, I think you're up there somewhere. JB Winery down in South Carolina, Jackie and Brian Bruning. I got W. Jeffrey Carey and Associates, Kimball Barbershop, they give me the due. Morocco Welding, House of Toys down in Greensburg, JWS Blasting and Painting, Black Specialty Shop, On Time Graphics, did the lettering on the car. Gina Gadara and her husband Mark are here. Scalise Realty, Candace Lang Photography, Ed Burkett Used Cars, Ed's here, and special thanks to Jonathan Mitchell. I covered them all. I got to thank One Stop Auto, our division sponsor. And once again, I just hope you guys enjoyed it. That was probably the best race I was ever involved in.
And Dan Campbell completes the drive for 5 on the 2024 season. And Dan, what pull our 50-50 ticket? Alrighty, and for all of our fans and the stands, $657 to the winner. We want to thank our friends at the Jennerstown Volunteer Fire Department, so make sure to get out your 50-50 tickets. The winning ticket is 625158. Again, the winning ticket, 625158. If you are the lucky winner of our 50-50 ticket winner here, make sure to see our friends at the Jennerstown Volunteer Fire Department at the Midway. Dan Campbell gets his 5th win on the 2024 season for the One Stop Auto Sales Pro Stocks.
Great job, Colton. Thank you so much. Congrats to Dan Campbell. Steve, that really was a great, clean race up front. Dan's right. I mean, Aaron did a great job. Didn't dive bomb him, didn't get into him. I mean, that was just great, clean racing.
Yeah, that was an exciting race to watch. That 30 laps was fun. The fact that they were doing a drag race 90% of the time, and the other 10% of the time there was maybe less than a 2-car length difference, made for some exciting races. And congratulations, Dan, in the car he calls Ace.
Yeah, that was a great way to start the Motor Mountain Masters tonight. We have 150 laps of super late model racing coming at you next. The UARA National Series running the Motor Mountain Masters here tonight. Excited to have these cars out onto the front stretch. So what we're going to do, as Dan gets his pictures down there in victory lane, he'll clear his car out, then they're going to bring our starting lineup out onto the track for the Motor Mountain Masters, and we'll do driver, introductions. We're going to step aside here on Racing America. When we come back, we'll talk about some of our drivers that are here tonight and what to expect in the Motor Mountain Masters. We're back in a moment here from the Jennerstown Speedway Complex.
Hi, I'm Eric Jones, and you're watching Racing America.
Saturday, July 13th, for the first time in nearly 2 decades, the Race of Champions Modifieds bring their brand of 600 horsepower racing to the Mills, laying it all on the line in the Summer Sizzler 80, presented by Pinnacle Investments at Evans Mills Raceway Park. The Race of Champions Modified Series will join the weekly Evans Mills Raceway Park divisions and thrill fans in the 80-lap Summer Sizzler, presented by Pinnacle Investments. Saturday night, July 13th, the Race of Champions Modified Series at Evans Mills Raceway Park, qualifying at 6 p.m. Evans Mills Raceway Park. You can't miss it.
The Northwest Super Late Models return to Mission Valley Super Oval Friday and Saturday, July 12th and 13th for the 33rd Annual Montana 200. See the West Coast's best grassroots racers as they compete for $10,000 to win as a part of the Montana Big 5 Super Series. It's the Montana 200 paying $10,000 to win at Mission Valley Super Oval Friday and Saturday, July 12th and 13th. For more information, go to missionvalleysuperoval.com. You can catch it only on RacingAmerica.tv.
Get up on your feet, race fans.
Can you believe it? Right now, racing, in my opinion, is as healthy as it's been in the last 15 to 20 years.
Just wanted to make that first lap.
Mobile International Speedway has it all for you this Saturday night with 6 classes of racing, including the return of the Mods of Mayhem and Pro Late Models, and one of the Gulf Coast's best fireworks show. And it's all on RacingAmerica.tv.
Back live here at the Jennerstown Speedway Complex, getting set for the Motor Mountain Masters. 150 laps, $10,000 to the winner. Boy, I'm ready to go racing, Steve.
I drank my milk, I ate my Wheaties, and I'm ready because this 150 lapper is going to be one exciting race. We got some big names in the stands, and I'm not talking about just big names and heroes and favorites here at Jennerstown. I'm talking some big names that have been here at Jennerstown and big names in the big racing series in NASCAR.
One of those big names was the fastest car in qualifying. Now, a bunch of these top cars all separated literally by less than 1/10 of a second. The top 6 separated by less than 1/10 of a second. The fastest car in qualifying was the number 5 of Johnny Sauter, former Truck Series champion. And you see his qualifying lap out there right now. This was earlier in the afternoon. The 5 of Johnny Sauter putting up a lap of 18.722. Now yesterday in practice, this track was so hot, so slick, that a lot of these cars didn't even get into the 18-second range. And tonight, 7, 8 of them got into it during just during qualifying. And that number 5 of Johnny Sauter is fast, former Truck Series champion. This guy's ready to roll here tonight.
Former winner here at Jennerstown. He was the champion in the ASA race back in the early 2000s, about 20-some years ago here. He ran the ASA race. I was here as a fan, and he just happened to be my driver that night, so I was happy to see him come back as he is back, and he is no stranger to victory lane.
No, great qualifying run for him. Qualifying second was the 14 of Michael Atwell. He put up a lap of 18.739. See him there in the 14 car earlier in qualifying. Had a great lap, as did Jeremy Doss in the 08. The 08 of Doss putting up 18.754. Eric Jones in the 4 car qualified fourth, 18.762. Albert Francis in the 33 and 18.766. Evan Shotko in the 22 and 18, well, what happened here? 18.775, and Bubba Pollard with an 18.841. That's the top 7, all separated by 1/10 of a second. we're going to have some great racing here tonight.
Yeah, what I like about this crew, we have our local guys who are superstars here at Jennerstown, as well as a bunch of names. And if you were out at the Midway and was talking and listened to Eric Jones earlier, he was talking about coming up through the ranks, and he raced with some of these guys coming up. So he doesn't race with them now, but he knows these guys. He's raced with them, and then there's some brand new guys that he's here with tonight, and some of our local guys as well.
So you saw the live dice roll for the invert for our One-Stop Auto Sales Pro Stocks. We did that before we came on the air here on Racing America. They will invert the top 5. Already did that dice roll. We're ready to go. That's the way they're out on the front stretch. And Colton Tobias is going to be down on that front stretch for driver introductions. The drivers are out of their vehicles. The fans here in the stands will be able to wave. Our camera woman down there, Sydney Mentz, will be able to get a great shot of our drivers as we get set for driver introductions here in just a moment from Jennerstown Speedway as soon as we get the okay. You see the 33 car on your screen now of Albert Francis, the 4 of Eric Jones, the 14 of Michael Atwell, as all those top cars up there on the front stretch. We are ready for driver introductions. Let's send it down trackside to Colton Tobias.
For all of my friends here at Jennerstown Speedway and for everybody listening around the world on Racing America, I just have one question. Are you ready to go racing? Well, here we go with our driver introductions. 14 cars will head out for the 7th running of the Motor Mountain Masters here this evening on this Thursday night upon Motor Mountain. So we're going to start back to front. Starting in the 14th position, he raced here a few weeks ago, driving the Shotco Motorsports machine in the number 69. Let's give it up for Scott Melton. And also starting back here, is supposed to start 3rd. He's in the back here. Let's give a warm welcome for Jeremy Doss. And now starting next, a longtime competitor here at Jennerstown Speedway. Let's give a warm welcome to Mike Hollywood Heminger. And then next up, he has competed in every single Motor Mountain Masters since 2018. Let's give a warm Jennerstown welcome to Brian Shipp. And this gentleman right here has also started every Motor Mountain Masters, looking to move up to the front. Let's give a warm welcome to Brandon Marhefka. And now moving into the top 10 in the double fly machine, making his Jennerstown debut tonight from Manorville, New York. Let's give a warm welcome to Brandon Turbush. And now we are going to move along to the next portion on the start-finish line. This gentleman has been racing at Jennerstown Speedway for many, many years. Let's give a warm Jennerstown welcome to the number 92 of Jared Barclay. Making his return to Jennerstown for the first time in 2 years, racing out west and coming back home to Jennerstown. Let's give a welcome to Mr. Ethan Myers. If you have been following late model racing for the past decade, you know this gentleman right here. He won the Money in the Bank a few weeks ago. Let's give it up for Bubba Pollard. This gentleman right here, he is the 2-time defending winner of this race. Let's give it up, Evan Shocko! This gentleman has won a race here before It was in August 2001 in the old ASA Series. Coming back to Jennerstown looking for another, the 2016 NASCAR Truck Series champion. Let's give it up for Johnny Sauter! And now, the top three. This car placed third in the Motor Mountain Masters 1 year ago. It was driven by Chris Davidson. A new face here at the Jennerstown Speedway. Let's give it up for Michael Atwell. And now, it is time for the front row. You saw him on the midway about an hour ago. The 2015 NASCAR Truck Series champion. You watch him race on Sunday in the NASCAR Cup Series. Let's give it up for Eric Jones! And now, starting on the pole, the 2020 late model champion here at Jennerstown. Let's give it up for your pole sitter for the 2024 Motor Mountain Masters. It is Albert Francis! Ladies and gentlemen, that is the entry order for the 2024, the 7th running of the Motor Mountain Masters.
Thank you, Colton. Great job, great enthusiasm. We're ready to go. See the starting lineup there: Francis, Jones, Atwell, Sauter. Top 5 again inverted after single car qualifying. Evan Shotko in the 22, who's won this race the last 2 years, looking to defend his title for a 3rd straight season. 26 of Bubba Pollard. That car didn't have any decals on it yesterday during practice, able to slap his 26 onto that car. Ethan Myers in the 19. Who ran here a lot over the last couple of years, but has taken a break, been running on the West Coast the last 2 seasons. The 92 of Jared Barkley there. Good qualifying run for the 92 with the advantage these super lates have over our normal late models here at Jennerstown Speedway. 05 of Turbush, just a great shot of all these cars down on the front stretch. And I think we're about ready to hear the most famous words in motorsports. Colton, you're down there trackside. Are you ready for us? We're just going to make sure that all the drivers are in and ready first, as they were out of their cars for driver introductions. Got to get them in there, strapped in, helmets on. Make sure we're ready to go. Great shot from the drone here. Just want to thank all of our sponsors. Of course, Laurel Auto Group, with a strong, committed staff with years of experience. You can be confident in purchasing your new vehicle at one of their dealerships in Johnstown. Browse their online inventory, set up a test drive, and buy your next car or truck with Laurel Auto Group. Also want to thank Daniel Schaefer's Incorporated in Hooversville, your locally owned hardware store. They're proud to be a member of the True Value family, and they're here to serve our community. Whether you're a pro or taking on a DIY home improvement project for the first time, they're right here in your neighborhood with the expert advice, tools, equipment, and the products you need to get the job done. Daniel Schaefer's Incorporated in Hooversville, they're here to help. Come in and see them today. Also want to thank Mission Critical Solutions, offering welding, fabrication, and machining with high-quality products and superior craftsmanship. Visit missioncriticalsolutions.com for more information. Also want to thank Morocco Welding. They pride themselves on building the finest dump bodies, roll-offs, winch trucks, vacuum tank trucks, custom accessories, and specialty truck bodies. Thank you to Morocco Welding. Thanks to Hummingbird Industrial Supplies, the local supplier of nuts, bolts, fasteners, chains, brass fittings, rubber extrusion products, and a wide range of safety supplies to each of their customers. All products are tested and screened for quality assurance. They are a company who puts quality at the forefront of every order. And, of course, we want to thank North Star Equipment. They specialize in conveyor systems and belts located just minutes away in Boswell. Give them a call today for your heavy equipment needs. That is North Star Equipment. They are our presenting sponsors, all of those guys, for tonight's Motor Mountain Masters. 150 laps with $10,000 on the line to the winner. Steve, you ready to go?
I'm ready to go. How about you down there, Colton? Are you ready to go?
No,
they're not.
He says no.
Which, when he says no, that means the drivers are not ready to go.
We weren't talking about the drivers, Cole.
Yeah.
We were just wondering if you were ready to go down there on the track.
How about you guys in the stands? How about our fans tonight? Are we ready to go racing? 150 laps, the Motor Mountain Masters here on Thursday night. A beautiful Thursday, actually. We were a little bit worried here earlier today about the weather, but turned out to be a wonderful evening, much cooler than yesterday. And now I think we're ready for Colton Tobias.
Guys, we are ready. And now, to give the most famous words in motorsports, let's give a warm welcome to our friends at Laurel Toyota and Laurel Automotive.
All right, all right, all right. Drivers, start your engine!
And in the spirit of Matthew McConaughey, Steve, Nate, let's go racing, shall we?
Let's do it. Those motors fired up. You can hear the rumble from the front stretch. We're ready to go. 150 laps of racing here from the Jennerstown Speedway Complex. Man, Colton, you got me pumped up, man. Those guys from Laurel Toyota got me pumped up, ready to go. Let's go racing.
And what got me pumped up, the sound and the smell right now. The sound of those motors and the smell of that exhaust. Nothing gets you more fired up than a little bit of race car action here at Jennerstown.
Boy, I was out here for practice yesterday. That race fuel, it was quiet except for a rumble of a couple of engines and race fuel. Man, it was just a cool atmosphere here. But I'll tell you what, I love it much more with the stands full of fans ready to watch some of the greatest late model drivers in the country right now. Eric Jones at the top. He'll start in the front row with Albert Francis. Joe's running his own late model team. By the way, excited to have him out there. He's been great. Bubba Pollard just won Money in the Bank at Berlin a couple of weeks ago as part of UARA National Series. Again, this race tonight sanctioned through UARA, coming live to you on Racing America. We're nestled in the mountains of southwestern Pennsylvania. They call it Motor Mountain. You can see the mountains surrounding us in the little town of Jennerstown, Pennsylvania. Just a couple of hundred people live here. You see the shots sometimes. You can see the homes that sit up on the hillside that overlook this racetrack. Just a great atmosphere, great place to race, and some of the best are here. We're ready to go 150 laps tonight. You see right from the pace truck, great view of Albert Francis, our pole sitter. Great, really cool shot from our wireless camera at Sydney Metz.
Yeah, and if you're here in the stands, if you're watching at home and you're rooting for your favorite Jennerstown driver, or you're rooting for your favorite driver from wherever he races across the country, they're all here tonight. So sit down in your seats, strap in, grab a nice cold beverage, and we are going to get ready here in just a couple minutes to go racing.
I'm going to tell you, I can't sit down. I got to stand up. I'm so excited and ready to go here as these cars take their pace lap around our half-mile racetrack. Now, when you think of short track racing, yeah, half mile, you hear quarter mile, 3/8 mile. This is a true half mile. It's actually larger than a half mile. It's .522. That's a fairly large short track when you think about short track racing. But it has the two grooves, really cool setup. As you see the Laurel Toyota pace truck riding around, Sydney getting those great shots. Let's see what our camera's showing there, Eric, here on Racing America. There it is. Albert Francis, the pole sitter. You see the Toyota 4 of Eric Jones right behind him. Michael Atwell, Johnny Sauter in that orange 5 car. Evan Shotko behind them in the 22. The 19 of Ethan Myers. Boy, I mean, sun's starting to set here a little bit. It's been cloudy, so the track is not that slick. This is like the coolest day of a 10-day forecast. Today's the coolest. The sun's been behind the clouds. A lot of grip in this racetrack tonight. It should put up some great speeds and some great racing.
Yeah, definitely. This is what these guys wanted. They're going to get the maximum out of their car versus yesterday. But they kind of practiced yesterday and were preparing for those kind of conditions. But today, a lot different conditions, temperature, a lot different conditions on the track. And we're going to see what kind of adjustments they were able to make.
1 to go is the sign from our flagman, Mike Reininger. On the pole, Albert Francis after the invert. Eric Jones to his outside in the 4. Behind them, Atwell and Sauter, Shotko and Myers. We are ready to go. 150 laps. Now, fans, there will be a break at the halfway point for these cars to be able to put some more tires on, so there at least will be one competition break in the middle of the race. We're ready to go. 150 laps of racing. The Motor Mountain Masters is underway.
The green flag flies, and right out at the initial, the number 4 jumps quickly ahead of the 33 of Francis, and he takes that lead coming across the backstretch.
Eric Jones not wasting any time as he jumps in front of Albert Francis. Atwell running the lower line. Johnny Sauter up on the high side of that 5 car. Side-by-side battle here for the 3rd position as Eric Jones leads the field on lap number 1. Still side-by-side here behind Jones and Francis. The super late models cranking it around our half-mile racetrack.
Yeah, these cars are running right now low 19 seconds, 19.104 our fastest lap here so far.
And Jones now creating some separation at the front of the pack. Francis still running in second with Michael Atwell and Johnny Sauter side by side for the 3rd position. Shotko hanging right there with them. Myers in the 19 behind them.
Yeah, the leader right now with about half a second over to 2nd through 6th or 7th place car, as they are just bumper to bumper as they come out of turn 4.
And Sauter able to clear Atwell now as the 14 goes to the bottom. Sauter using that high line, going to go to work on the 33 of Albert Francis. Sauter's 5-car fastest in qualifying, and he's up to the 2nd position now.
Oh, and we had some contact with our 4th and 5th place car. The 22 and the 14 made contact in the middle of 3 and 4, but everybody was able to keep going straight.
Well, it looked like the 33 slowed up there, and it bottled the 22 and the 14 up. They end up touching there through the corner. Everybody good. They stay straight, keep on rolling here. 22 and the 14 still side by side, but I think I saw a little smoke coming out of that left front of the 14 car in that turn. You see it. I think there's a tire rub there maybe for the 14 of Atwell through the corner.
Yeah, they smacked each other pretty good as they got all bunched up there. And we have a car into the pits, and it would be...
It's the 69 of Scott Melton pulling it off. Melton part of the Shotko team. Yeah, I think you have to watch that 14 of Atwell. I think I can see some tire smoke there from the left front, so we'll just keep an eye on that. After the contact with the 22, as those two got together with the 33 of Francis checking up a bit as the 22 of Shotko starts to go to work on that 33 of Albert Francis.
Coming up to 9 laps in so far. Our leader continues to be the number 4 of Eric Jones, 2nd to number 5 of Johnny Sauter, and we have a drag race for that 3rd place right now.
Yeah, it's the 4 and the 5, and here's the 22 and the 33. Shotko, again, has won this race each of the last 2 times they've been here. Winning the Motor Mountain Masters in 2022 and in 2023. Looking for the 3-peat, going way below that yellow line, arcing it into the corner through 1 and 2.
And it looks like the 5 of Johnny Sauter is putting a little pressure now, and he's getting closer in the rearview mirror of our current leader, the number 4 of Jones.
Yeah, looking at the leaders now as the 5 car, still a couple of car lengths back from the 4 of Eric Jones. Jones out in front, finished 3rd at Money in the Bank at Berlin a couple of weeks back in the last UARA National Series sanctioned race. You can see them side by side for the 3rd position, and Sauter is biding his time. This is a long race, 150 laps. I mean, on a typical night here at Jennerstown, the late models, they're pro lates, they run 30 laps. This is a long race to go 150. $10,000 on the line, though, at 5 of Sauter. Fastest in qualifying, has worked his way up to 2nd now after the invert, sitting right there behind the 4 of Eric Jones. As Shotko has yet to get around that 33 of Albert Francis. And look who's coming back into the picture. It's the 14 of Atwell. There wasn't a tire rub there. It's not as severe. See, he's closing back in on the 22 of Evan Shotko. That 33 of Francis, by the way, was a regular here at Jennerstown Speedway during the 2020 season. A lot of racetracks were not able to open due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Francis found Jennerstown and made the drive from Ohio over here into Pennsylvania to run this racetrack. Won a couple of races and ended up winning the 2020 season championship in the late models here at Jennerstown Speedway. So we see him every once in a while. He comes back for the special races like this. He's running good right now up in front in the third spot ahead of Evan Shotko.
I'll tell you one thing that was good that came out of that pandemic all the way that many years ago was that gentleman right there, the 33. If it wouldn't have been for that, we may not have seen him. He may not have been racing here, but we enjoy when he comes here. We like rooting for him, and there's a lot of fans in the stands that appreciate him, and we congratulated him a couple years ago with his team.
Here's Bubba Pollard in the 26. For a moment, we saw Bubba Pollard in the 26. We go back to the leaders there. Pollard in front of local Jennerstown driver Brian Shipp in that 48 scheme. Pollard, a Hampton race car that he's running, as we go back to these leaders, and that's because Johnny Sauter's starting to catch that 4 of Eric Jones.
Yeah, I was just getting ready to tell you, Nate, that every lap Johnny Sauter's closing in about 1/10 of a second on our leader, the number 4 of Jones, and he was 2.5 tenths of a second back, and that time he's just about the same, but he's closing in ever so slightly each and every lap on our current leader.
Jones was fastest in practice yesterday. Some of these teams came up. Most of the out-of-towners came up in practice yesterday afternoon here at the racetrack. Jones had some of the fastest times. Sauter took practice to figure it out. Looks like they did figure it out. I mean, again, had that good qualifying run, and now right up here in second spot, you see the view from the drone high atop the mountains here in southwestern Pennsylvania.
Out of our local guys here, back in the position of 8th and 9th, our local drivers currently a battle for that 8th spot, the 92 of Barkley and the 48 of Shipp, as they battle for that 8th spot.
Yeah, you saw Pollard get around Shipp. Now Barkley going to work on the 48 as well. Right here, still battle for the lead. Battle for the lead up front. Johnny Sauter right to the bumper of the 4 of Eric Jones. We're not even 25 laps into this race, and it's Johnny Sauter to the point. The 5 car is taking the lead from the 4 of Eric Jones, new leader. With 127 laps to go, Jones led the first couple after starting on the front row, but it's Johnny Sauter out in front now.
And slow on the pace coming into turn 3. It looks like he's going to be pulling off the 72 of Heminger. He's slow coming around, and looks like he's coming into the pit.
Saw him there in turn number 3 when Sauter and Jones went around, and the local driver here at Jennerstown, Heminger, pulling off for the moment. There's the 72 car, going to bring it in. That's a new late model, by the way, that we'll see on Saturday nights, I think, with Mike Heminger behind the plate. Behind the plate, but it is baseball season. Behind the wheel, that is. So the 72 pulls it in and hasn't dropped the window net yet. We'll see if Mike Heminger can get back out onto the track.
125 laps to go in our 150 lap. Our current leader, the number 5 is Johnny Sauter, and 0.703 seconds back is second place Eric Jones, and third, the number 33 of Albert Francis.
Yeah, Francis still running well. In the third spot, Shotgo has not been able to get up to him quite yet. Looked like he was going to challenge him for that third spot, but has not. A couple of years ago when Shotgo won this race has been moved up. He used to run this very beginning of August, right at the same time as the Battle of the Berlin would be at one point in the week, and we'd be on the weekends. We moved this up here in July. Shotgo had won the Battle of Berlin, and then Motor Mountain Masters back-to-back. He was on a high, trying to get his third Motor Mountain Masters victory. Last year had to win it on a Sunday. Got rained out on Saturday night and had to move it to Sunday afternoon. They were on that crimson jacket.
Beautiful weather here tonight on this Thursday night, and Nate, we have another car off the track onto the pits. The 05 of Turbush, he is off, and he's in his pits right now, and they're trying to figure out what's going on with him.
Yeah, that 05 has struggled to find speed here. It was struggling in practice yesterday, did not have a great qualifying run. They're clearly having some issues on that 05 car as Shotko within a car length of the 33 of Albert Francis for the third position.
And on the backstretch, the 13 of Marhefka, he's slow on the pace, and is he even going to make it in? He looks like he's slow. Hopefully he can make it here without a caution, and caution is out.
And the yellow comes out. First caution flag of the race.
Looked like he had trouble with the engine running there. He was able to refire it there in the middle of turns 3 and 4, but he was real slow as he entered turn 1 from the backstretch, or turn 3 from the backstretch, I'm sorry.
Marhefka into the pits now. He did get that car refired. Brian Ship pulling it in here for a moment. In the 48, your leader is Johnny Sauter. He took the lead just 23 laps into the race after Eric Jones led the first 23 laps. Sauter was able to make that pass. He still runs up in front. Eric Jones running in second in that 4 car still. Albert Francis third in the 33. Shotko is fourth in the 22, and Michael Atwell running in 5th in the 14. Looks like they're going under the hood of Brian Ship and the 13 of Marhefka. These are 2 local cars that run on Saturday nights in the Martellus Pharmacies Late Model Series here at Jennerstown Speedway, part of NASCAR Advanced Auto Parts Weekly Series racing here at Jennerstown Speedway Complex. While we have a moment, do want to thank a couple of sponsors that are making this race possible. Seferno Well Services, Boyd Brothers, GMS Mine Repair, Dembler Machinery, Custom Ironworks, Sheffels Equipment, and Ameriserve Bank. Thank you to our sponsors. Got the jack up on the Marhefka car, the 48 car now pulling it in as well. Might have 2 local drivers out of this race already. As the 13 goes up on jacks. Brandon Marhefka's dad, Rob, going to the front left there, doing all kind of work on that 13 car. The crew out there trying to help Brandon get back out onto the racetrack here in the Motor Mountain Masters. Caution flag waving with a 119 laps remaining in this 150 lap event. There will be a break halfway. That break will allow the teams to bring their cars in onto pit road. It's a 6-tire race. They had 4 tires yesterday for practice, got 4 tires to start the race today, and can use 2 more. See what the strategies will be during that break. Right now, Marhefka still with the hood up.
Looks like we have a few cars that are parked. We started with 14 on this race, and first the 69 of Melton, he dropped out, and then just a few laps ago the 72 of Heminger. But since then we've had 3 or 4 cars pull onto pit road, and many of them are still being worked on. So we currently have 8 cars out there on the track, but there looks to be about 3 or 4 that are getting worked on, and hopefully we'll be back out here in just a couple minutes.
Well, I also have the 05 of Turbush, who has struggled, but the 14 of Atwell, who was running up in the top 5, had that contact with Evan Shotko early on, first couple of laps. Those 2 touched. Looked like there may have been a tire rubber, something going on in that car. Not exactly sure what the issue was. Did not end up having to come off the racetrack. Kept running in the top 5, but now has brought it onto pit road under this caution. So one of the faster cars in this race right now being addressed in the pits. Look like they got the jack down there on the 14. Something wrong with the left rear. A couple of slaps, says get going. 14 of Atwell coming back out onto the track. So the yellow flag out. Some of these drivers might have thought they got the 1 to go, but the light's still on here. Gets Atwell back to the back of the pack. Still 9 cars on the track, now 10, as it's Turbush who returns to the track. They'll get the 1 to go sign here. We'll go green flag racing next time by. Eric Jones started on the outside of row number 1 with Albert Francis in that 33 car. Led the first 23 laps before Johnny Sauter tracked him down and took the lead. Sauter led until this caution. Sauter starting on the outside of row number 1 here, like that high lane, and he takes it for the restart as the cars come to the Memorial Highway Chevrolet restart zone. We're back underway. Green flag's out. Sauter and Jones side by side. Sauter going to clear that 4 car down the back stretch and into 1. Shotgo going to the high side here. He's running behind that 33 of Albert Francis, so uses that caution to get up to the 3rd spot and get around the 33 of Francis. So it's Sauter 1, Jones 2, and now Shotgo 3. 5 car has been hooked up here today. Good in practice, best in qualifying. Back to the lead to pace the field is the 5 of Johnny Sauter.
We are single file 1st through 8th position. Same distance between each other as they go across the backstretch into turns 3 and 4. And our leader continues to be the number 5 of Sauter.
Don't look now, the 26 of Bubba Pollard, that white car at the bottom of your screen that just came in there, is now in the top 5.
Yeah, he's a fan favorite. A lot of folks think he's going to be our winner here tonight. But then again, we have a lot of fan favorites for other drivers as well. But following on social media and so forth, he was seemed to be the fan favorites, listening to the fans and who they're rooting for here tonight.
Pollard there. Car lengths back to the 33 of Albert Francis. Pollard was not great in practice yesterday. Good qualifying run. In the top 6 roll in a 1/10 of a second of each other.
13 more Heifels coming back out onto the track, so we have 1 more car going back into the mix.
Trying to get some laps in that 13 machine as the 26 of Pollard now goes to work on the 33 of Albert Francis. Pollard has won before here at Jennerstown Speedway. Won in the Cars Tour a couple of years ago.
And it looks like he's battling for that 4th spot and going to take that position away. He's open to take that position away if they come across the start finish line, him and Francis in a drag race.
Yeah, Francis hanging right up there on that high line can really carry the momentum through the corners here at Jennerstown. I think that's fairly unique to short track racing to have 2 true grooves. You talk about the quarter miles and the 3/8 mile. It's hard to do that. But this being even a little bit bigger than a half mile, 0.522, really opens up that second groove up there.
Yeah, our 4th and 5th place, they're running about equal lap times each time around. But that time around, it goes to the 26 as he takes that 4th spot away.
Pollard to 4th now as Sauter pulls away from Jones in the 4 car. Shotgo right there within a car length of the 4 of Jones. Right to the bumper there. Great shots from our drone on Racing America. Bringing you this coverage tonight. Whole Jennerstown production team partnering with Racing America. And just want to thank all the guys. Eric Bennett, our producer up here, showing you these great shots. John Foster with us as well. You see Sauter continues to pace the field in that 5 car, expanding his margin over Eric Jones in 2nd. Pollard now reeling in that 22 of Shotgo. This is a long race. Bubba's starting to make his way through the field.
Yeah, our leader is almost 8.8 seconds away from the 2nd place car, but the car we need to watch is that white car in the 4th spot. as he closed the distance on the third place, and his laps are getting closer and closer to our current leader.
Saw a great article and heard some interviews with Kevin Harvick a couple of weeks ago that decided to race a late model, and how he got his butt whooped by Bubba Pollard in that race.
Yeah, a few guys have gotten their butts whooped by Bubba Pollard.
More than a few over the last couple of years. He's really become one of the best in the business.
He has on the asphalt and on the dirt. He's a name to be reckoned with and respected, I believe, as well.
Yeah, no doubt about it. 26 look that he's got.
And that 26 is closing in on our third place car, the 22 of Shotco.
Yeah, approaching the 100 lap mark. Still 4 laps to go there. Again, we'll take a break halfway at 75. 150 laps, winner getting $10,000. Shotco's done it twice, but that 26 of Pollard coming, and Shotco slides up the track.
Yeah, he had a rear view mirror full of that 26 car, but right now he's got a side mirror full of him as they are side by side going into turns 1 and 2.
Shotco giving him space, saying, you got me, go ahead. I'm gonna hang here a little bit, but nice job by Shotco.
Yeah, I think we're early enough that we're not going to see anything overly dramatic. However, each position is a position to fight for, but that one was sort of a here, take this one, I'll get you back in a couple laps.
Leaders still all single file. Sauter, Jones, now Pollard to third, Shotco to fourth. Albert Francis still riding around in fifth. Michael Atwell back up to sixth after coming to pit road during the caution break. Ethan Myers seventh, Jared Barclay eighth. Jeremy Doss running in the 9 spot. Pollard now starting to reel in the 4 of Eric Jones. Money in the bank, Pollard won. Jones ended up finishing third in that race. Car lengths back is Pollard. Glad to have you along here on Racing America. Nate Brigatti alongside Steve Borowski. Colton Tobias is down in the pits. We'll hear from him in a little bit.
Our current leader, the number 5 of Johnny Sauter, he comes across the start-finish line, and he is about a half a second back or ahead of our second place car, the number 4 of Eric Jones, and then just about less than a car length, our third place, the 26 of Bubba Pollard as they come into turns 3.
Pollard is coming, no doubt about it.
Yeah, he started towards, I don't want to say towards the back, but he wasn't spoke of here in the first 20 laps or so, but he's quickly been the name we've been talking about here in the last few laps as he gets closer and closer each lap to the front.
Making his way up there again. Long race, 150 laps. Pollard going to make a couple appearances here in the month of July in that race car. He'll be at Nashville Fairgrounds this weekend. Racing at State Line Speedway this month. Also making some dirt appearances as well. He'll be at I-75, Swainsboro, Sonoya. The Georgia native closing in on the 4 of Jones. Got to be patient, though. Again, long race, 150 laps. Still 96 laps to go. About 20 laps of a break here. These cars will have a chance to put a couple more tires on if they want a 6-tire race.
It's slightly over 1 second between our first and fourth place cars. We have some pretty good competition up front. As the 26th and third place, he just makes it a little bit closer and closes in 1 notch closer to the second place car of Eric Jones.
2 of the best in the business right now running late models. Jones has been really good late model as well. Guys running second and third though behind Johnny Sauter. And pacing this field. Jones led the first 23 laps. It's been all Johnny Sauter ever since. 1 caution flag in this race thus far for a slow car on the backstretch. And all green flag racing. Everybody's spread out now. Pretty much everybody's single file. Leaders putting Brandon Turbush their lap down in that 05 car.
Johnny Sauter running the fastest lap right there. Second fastest lap is our second place car, and our third fastest lap is the fourth place of Shotgun.
Sauter has not run away though. He's been leading Jones, but has not pulled away from him.
Yeah, Nate, when I say the fastest lap, it's just by minimal. It's by like hundredths of a second. So when he's running the fastest lap, they're all running fast laps, those top guys. But ever so slightly, Eric Jones ran the fastest lap that last time around.
They're all right there. I mean, these cars are so even in qualifying. Not surprising that they're all pretty even and going to put on a good show here. This 26 of Pollard just been taking his time to get to the 4 of Eric Jones. Now Pollard peeking maybe to that upper groove a little bit. Got a good run there out of 4. Like the way he's moving around the racetrack there to try to find a way. You do see Pollard running a little bit of a higher groove than the 4 of Jones there, 1 and 2 as well.
And Pollard's about a hundredth of a second faster that last time around than the number 4.
Peeking to the outside is Bubba Pollard.
Once again, Pollard with a faster lap. He ran a 20.229. Eric Jones, 20.727 that last time around, as there is less than a car length distance of themselves as they come out of turn 4. Just a little over a half a second lead between our leader and the second place, which just now happens to be the 26 of Pollard as he makes that pass that last front stretch, and is our second place car, dropping Eric Jones down to the 3rd spot.
So we'll see if Pollard can go to work now on that 5 of Johnny Sauter.
Pollard with the fastest laps the past couple times around than Johnny, so he's definitely closing in some ground, and he's going to be a miracle for Johnny here in just about another lap or 2.
Pollard teaming up with some other teams to race this year. So he evaluates where his career goes. I'll tell you, I love Bubba's interview. There's nobody better at an interview of just telling you how it is than Bubba Pollard. It's real, it's authentic. It's what makes racing. I think that's why people love him, because it's what makes racing. You want authentic guys that just want to come out here and drive cars, and that's exactly what he is. That's what you get with that guy behind the 26 car.
Last lap again, Bubba with just slightly a faster lap as he closes in ever so slightly on our leader, as there's about a 2 car length difference as they come out of turn 2 across the back stretch.
Approaching the halfway point, which will bring out a caution and a break. The lines will be busy down there on pit road, getting reports from the teams. We're just a couple of laps away from that halfway point. Again, $10,000 on the line tonight to the winner. 150 laps around this half-mile racetrack. Pollard catching that 5 of Sauter. Not sure he's going to get there before the break. Give these teams time to make some adjustments. Jones has fallen back a bit now.
Yeah, Jones has dropped back quite substantially from our top 2 positions, as number 1 and number 2 have less than 0.4 of a second. Just now 3.5 tenths of a second.
It's been really cool to have Eric Jones here at Jennerstown Speedway. Did the question and answer session with the fans underneath the grandstands before today's race. Came up here, has been doing autographs, has these little cards to give out. I want to thank Mike Bellardi here at the track. Went to Berlin a couple of weeks ago, talked to these guys, and got Eric Jones to be here at the Motor Mountain Masters and participate in this race. This is a guy you're going to see. Anybody watching on Racing America is going to know this, but for our fans in the stand, I mean, this is a guy you're going to see on Sunday at Pocono racing a cup car. Really cool to have him here at Jennerstown Speedway, and he's been performing well too. He ran up front, led the first 23 laps of the race. See what he can do as these cars are going to come in here in a couple of laps, probably put some fresh tires on and go for another 75. It's been a fairly calm race, Steve. I mean, we've had just one caution, and that was for a slow car, and that car got going anyway. Did not end up stopping there. They threw the yellow, but he was able to get refired. That was Marhefka, a local driver. Other than that, it's been very, very quiet as Pollard continues to reel in the 5 of Sauter at the front.
Yeah, I'm trying to keep my heart rate down here, Nate. We had some exciting racing in our One Stop Auto Sales Pro Stocks here earlier with our top 2 cars. And I imagine something like that will be happening here towards the end of our race when we get closer to that 140 lap mark or so.
Yeah, it's just a long race. On a typical Saturday night here in Jennerstown, you're going to have 20 laps, 15 laps. 150 is a big difference for what at least our local drivers are used to. These guys who run these late models all the time, and 150 laps is pretty typical. But for our local drivers to go, it's a long race. Pollard had gotten really close to the 5 of Sauter, but now is backed off here as they get ready for this halfway break, and there it is. The yellow comes out for the halfway mark. Sauter, your leader, halfway. Led a good bit of that first half of the race, and Eric Jones led the first 23 laps. Sauter took the lead from him. There was one caution in the first half. Sauter restarted in the front row, kept the lead. Pollard was coming, though, so we'll see what happens in the second half of the race. We're going to step aside here on Racing America. Colton Tobias will be on pit road as these teams come in. You're watching the Motor Mountain Masters from Jennerstown Speedway.
Hey, I'm Bo Parr, and you're watching Racing America.
Mobile International Speedway has it all for you this Saturday night with 6 classes of racing, including the return of the Mazda Mayhem and Pro Late models, and one of the Gulf Coast's best fireworks show. And it's all on RacingAmerica.tv.
Get up on your feet, race fans.
Can you believe it? Right now, racing, in my opinion, is as healthy as it's been in the last 15 to 20 years.
Just wanted to make that first lap.
Welcome to the home of all race fans, Racing America, live short track racing.
Looking for the green flag, and the Snowball Derby is underway.
Exclusive NASCAR Cup team content.
Enjoy competing with your teammates.
You already know. Behind the scenes access.
Great car, puts on a great show. I'm excited about it.
Claim your front row seat to watch the excitement.
Mission accomplished.
And drama.
Car lifts up in the air.
From grassroots to NASCAR. Join us at the home for race fans everywhere.
You're watching Racing America right here on Racing America.
Racing America. It's in our DNA.
Mobile International Speedway has it all for you this Saturday night with 6 classes of racing, including the return of the Mazda Mayhem and Pro Late models, and one of the Gulf Coast's best fireworks show. And it's all on RacingAmerica.tv.
It's gotta be the wildest ride in the world.
We've not had anything like that before. The guys that run with me are coming to run, and we are all very thankful for that.
Cars are on pit road here at the Motor Mountain Masters. We've completed 75 laps. We'll still have 75 laps to go. Once all the cars are stopped on pit road, a horn will sound. These teams will have 7 minutes to do anything to their car. And then after that 7 minutes, a horn will sound and they cannot touch it. That includes putting a window net up. If your window net's not even up, there will be a penalty. 7 minutes from horn to horn once all the cars are stopped. And you see all these crews running out there. Instead of pulling the cars into their actual pit boxes to give them more time, these crews are out here. They're lined up just as they are. You see them right down the line in order. Look at all those jacks going. This is a cool sight as everybody goes to work on their race car. Colton Tobias is down there on pit road. Colton, it's your time to shine, man. What's happening?
Well, thank you so much, Nate. But first, guys, I want to send out a few reports from some cars that came down earlier in the race. And Bubba Pollard, as we thought that he had a problem, but their guys were just testing a stagger, and Bubba seems to be working, as we all see on Racing America. Bubba has worked himself through the front, had a chance to talk to some of his pit crew guys, and he said he is happy with the car. And also a lot of other happy reports here. Johnny Sauter saying that he is happy, and Evan Shocko saying he is happy on the radio, as well as a lot of cars are working on some tires. Sydney, if you want to convert over, we got a bunch of cars going to work here. And Mike Heminger, his car shut off, so they decided to bring him down. And Brandon Marhefko was having a brake issue during that caution. That is not the stage brake, as Brandon Turbush, as you mentioned him, a few laps down, he went down. They were working on the left side of his car as they brought the jack up. And then Eric Jones saying on the radio he is a little loose, saying it is laying in the corner, as they are going to tighten up the number 4 machine, and hopefully Eric Jones will have a much tighter and better handling race car when they get back out there. A lot of drivers changing left side tires, and remember, only 6 tires for each team for this race. Teams Evan Shocko, he is getting left side tires. Albert Francis, left side tires, as well as Turnbush. They're working on his car. The hood is up on Brandon Marhefka's car. On the Michael Atwell machine, they had to change tires coming down during the caution as they were getting the tires ready when the green flag was in the air. As Atwell, they are changing right side tires on the Michael Atwell machine. They just changed the right rear. They are going to the right front at the moment, as it is very, very busy down here. As I'll try to see if I can talk to Jared Barkley. He has his window net down, seeing if I can get a report from him.
Thanks, Colton. Do want to thank a couple of sponsors while these teams are working on their car. Thanks to Mid-Penn Bank, BZ Pools and Decks, Heminger Homes, Shane Schaefer HVAC, Plumbing and Electrician, Martin Oil Company, Summit Diner, Arsenberger Trucking, Certified Lift Specialists, Yonish Enterprises, Loyal Hannah Insurance, Abarta Coca-Cola, Memorial Highway Chevrolet, and Tailgates. Thanks to our sponsors here that make racing at Jennerstown Speedway possible. Also want to thank all the sponsors that are making this Motor Mountain Masters possible here tonight. We want to thank Laurel Auto Group. With a strong, committed staff with years of experience, you can be confident in purchasing your new vehicle at one of their dealerships in Johnstown. Browse their online inventory, set up a test drive, and buy your next car or truck with Laurel Auto Group. It might just be one of those Toyota Tundras that's our pace truck here tonight. Those have looked really sharp, and thanks to Laurel Auto Group for being a part of tonight's races, as well as Daniel Schaefer's Incorporated in Hooversville. They're your locally owned hardware store. They're proud to be a member of the True Value family, and they're here to serve your community. Whether you're a pro or taking on a DIY home improvement project for the first time, they're right in our neighborhood with the expert advice, tools, equipment, and the products you need to get the job done. Daniel Schaefer's Incorporated in Hooversville. They're here to help. Come in and see them today. Also want to thank Mission Critical Solutions, Morocco Welding, Hummingbird Industrial Supplies, and North Star Equipment. It's the halfway point of the Motor Mountain Masters. 75 laps down, 75 laps still to go. Eric Jones led 23 laps. Johnny Sauter led the rest of that first half. I got to do that math. 75 on it. But Sauter was out in front for the majority of that first half of the race. Bubba Pollard was coming, though, closed within a car length. That 26 car looking good, and see if they can get to work on this thing during this break. Again, teams can put on an additional 2 tires. It's a 6-tire race. They can put on additional tires here during this break under the red flag. They have 7 total minutes to work on their race car. One horn already went off. Another horn's going to go off when that horn sounds. Cannot even put up the window net. You have to be completely done with your race car. Looks like that 26 machine. You can see the light shining right off of it. Great LED lighting here at Jennerstown Speedway, shining right off the top of that 26 car of Bubba Pollard. He was looking fast, and he's going to be a favorite, I think, in this second half to maybe challenge Sauter.
Yeah, it's exciting for our fans in the stands. This is something we're not used to seeing. We're not used to seeing time where you can watch the teams work on the cars, have a little bit of break. Usually we're still going on some green flag laps when some of our cars pull in, or even if we have a caution, you might see that, but there's a lot of distraction right now. We get to see kind of up close and personal what all these teams are doing, and everybody looks like they have a little bit of a different strategy. Some changing other tires, some make some other adjustments, but each team, some of them were done real quick, some of them are still working on their cars, so they're figuring themselves out, and hopefully they're going to figure themselves out enough where all these cars are going to be battling up front here at the very end.
Colton DeBay is still down there on pit road. Colton, anything standing out to you down there? Anybody with some interesting strategies that you've seen or heard?
Well, Nate, we were talking about the opposite. You know, we were talking about Eric Jones being extremely loose. That was not the case for the Albert Francis camp. Had a chance to speak to Albert briefly, and he said he is very tight. So Albert Francis, they hope to get his car loose, as Francis making a good run, trying to see if he can try to make a run up to the front. Had a chance to talk to Jared Barclay, and guys, this just shows how tough it is to be a race car driver. Jared Barclay, one of the locals who has been racing here at Jennerstown for a long time, he was simply out of breath. They got some water to him. He had a bottle of water. He had his visor up and just talking to his radio. But it just shows the wear and tear on these drivers, and it's anything but turning left with the battle between man/woman and machine. It truly is absolutely heroic and really inspiring to see what these guys do each and every day, because it may look easy than what you see on Racing America, but friends, I can assure you it is not easy to do what these guys do, as everybody just working on their cars and trying to see if they can make a good battle, trying to get up to the front as we move on to stage number 2 of the Motor Mountain Masters.
You talked about Jared Barclay as one of the local drivers. He is one of the only local drivers, not just in the race, but on the lead lap in this thing, running in 7th. Has done a great job of keeping that 92 car in the mix in this thing. Ethan Myers, who's, I guess now we call him semi-local, hasn't run here in the last 2 years, but has cut his teeth here at Jennerstown Speedway in a late model. He's 2 laps down. Marhefka off the track, 23 laps down. He did try to come back on there at the end. Ships off the racetrack. Heminger off the racetrack. So Barclay doing a nice job keeping that 92 machine in this race and on the lead lap. There are 8 cars on the lead lap here. Sauter, Pollard, Jones, Shotko, Francis, Atwell, Barclay, and Doss. As the cars fire up their engines, they're ready to go racing once again.
Yeah, Nate, what I found interesting here earlier in the race before we started was the fact that a lot of these drivers, or local drivers, for example, they had talked to some of the bigger name guys that run the national circuits, and they were talking to them about some points and advice on running some long laps, because our guys aren't used to these running 150 or 100 plus laps. In the same turn, some of these local guys, and if you were out listening to Eric on the midway a little bit ago, he was talking about how he went to some of our local drivers and tried to figure this track out and look for points and some tips on driving. So nobody clearly has the advantage here today, because our local guys aren't used to running as long, and some of the national guys who aren't here are trying to pick up and get some tips and advice from our local guys as well. So everybody's out there helping each other out, trying to figure this track out for the long run, for the distance, and for what we're about to look at as we go on the second half of our 150 laps here in just a couple minutes, as we get ready to go back to green flag racing.
Oh boy, how about this? You can see it out here on turn number 3. The 5 of Johnny Sauter has been penalized for not being completed working on his race car under the brake. The 5 car, no. Hold on, let me see why he's getting penalized. He started working before the horn went off, and he went to the trailer. Instead of staying in line, he went to the trailer and started work before the horn went off. All right, so that clarification there, that the 5 of Sauter moved to the back. 5 of Sauter moved to the back for working on the car before the horn went off and pulling into the trailer and not staying in line. So the 5 of Sauter to the back. How about that, Steve? That's a big change.
Nate, I'm telling you, we just talked 1 lap ago before we went. When they came in, we said this has been pretty much a drama-free, caution-free, just, you know, they're going through the motions type thing. But within that little 7-minute window, we have a complete change in the dynamics of this race, as the number 5 now is back at the back of the field.
Well, that puts Bubba Pollard up in front with Eric Jones, your front row. 75 laps to go in the Motor Mountain Masters, and we're back underway. Big development now as Sauter's going to have to work his way through the field.
Yeah, but keep your eye on him, because he was good the entire race. He was running some of the fastest laps. But the number 4 right now quickly jumps ahead with about a 2 car length advantage of the 26 of Pollard as they come out of turn 4.
Yeah, Pollard sliding back. Actually, a shot go on his rear end on this first lap after the break. Jones, again, he was on the front row for the first half of this race, led the first 23 laps. He jumps back out to the lead. In front is Eric Jones. His shot go right to the bumper of the 26 of Bubba Pollard off the restart.
I don't know if you're watching that first through 6th or 7th or even 8th place, but it's pretty close. It's bumper to bumper as they come across the front stretch, and that 3rd through 6th spot is up for grabs right now.
Atwell in the 14, who made contact with the 22, had to bring it in under that first caution with 119 laps to go in the first stage. Running up there still in the top 5. In the 4th position, Albert Francis in the 33. Sauter making his way back up there. You see that orange 5 car to the bumper, the 08 of Doss. Sauter right now running in the 7th position after the penalty. 8 cars on the lead lap.
Our leader running the fastest lap that last time around.
Yeah, Jones pulling a couple of car lengths away from the 26 of Pollard. You see everybody kind of running different lines there out of turn number 4. It's like an accordion. They're stacked up different lines. It's all Eric Jones right now, though, out in front as Atwell goes to work on the 22 of Evan Shotko.
Yeah, they are side by side as they get into turn 3, and he takes that inside line, and the 22 comes across the start-finish line with the advantage.
Shotko has been able to don the crimson jacket each of the last 2 seasons at the Motor Mountain Masters. Running in that 3rd spot right now, right on the bumper of Bubba Pollard in the 26. For this race, Pollard, the Davidson Racing Machine of Atwell goes inside the 22 of Shotko. They're side by side here. Shotko started in the 6th position. Good side-by-side battle into turn number 3 between the 14 of Atwell and the 22 of Shotko. Right up against the wall is that 22, running that high line right now, trying to hang on to this position over the 14 of Atwell. This is a battle for 3rd.
The 5 of Johnny Sauter, who was penalized during that midway break and pit stop. He's battling now for that 6th spot as he is side by side with the 33 of Francis. They go into turns 1 and 2.
08 of Jeremy Doss, who was running in 8th before the caution came out at the halfway break. Now running up there in the 5th spot. Francis is in the top 5. Slipped back to 6th after that break, and you see Johnny Sauter going to work on him, trying to take that 6th spot away in that 5 car. Sauter led the majority of the first half of this race, but a penalty after the break for not staying in line and pulling into the trailer and beginning work before the horn sounded.
Johnny Sauter's been battling with that 33 of Francis for that 6th spot, and for the last couple laps, Francis was in the lead as he was running just slightly, ever so slightly a faster lap. But that last time around, the fastest lap goes to Sauter as they are almost touching paint coming across the start-finish line.
Sauter does get around that 33 of Francis. Everybody else single file. See Sauter, who just made that pass around the 33 of Francis. 61 laps to go here in the Motor Mountain Masters.
I'll tell you, Francis is not happy with that pass as he continues to try to play leapfrog as they go out of the backstretch into turn 3, and there might have been a little contact because I saw smoke between the 5 and the 33 going in the middle of turn 3 and 4.
You see Sauter get loose there out of the corner as well. These two hanging around each other.
Yeah, I think they're trying to run the same lines. but whoever has the nose up ahead of each other is who's taking that line, and the other one doesn't like it as they go around each lap, lap by lap.
Inches between these two race machines. The last couple of laps, Sauter had gotten around the 33 of Francis, but Albert working his way back. This is a battle for the 6th position.
Yeah, everybody's single file right now for the most part, but that battle and what we need to watch right now as Francis takes a duck underneath coming into turns 3, and it's side by side, and there's a little bit of paint rubbing as they come across the front stretch.
These two going at it. Everybody else single file. You know who's pacing the field? It's these two. Just going at it. The 5 of Sauter and the 33 of Albert Francis. And this is not a position Johnny Sauter thought he was going to be in.
Now, he was planning on being up front. He was planning on restarting up front. But right now, he's fighting for that 6th spot. And they're running some clean racing right there. But just each one of them are trying to fight for that same groove. And occasionally, you're going to see a little bit of paint swap.
We saw at the beginning of our show the weekly series and the Pro Stocks ran here at Jennerstown to kick things off. Great battle up front, side by side the whole time. And even the winning driver, Dan Campbell, said that's one of the best races he's ever been a part of in his Victory Lane interview. It was like that. I mean, it was like that for 30 laps. It's been a great show here tonight at Jennerstown.
Yeah, as we watch them come back across the start-finish line, and almost equal lap times between our first place and second place of Jones and Pollard. They came across that start-finish line running almost identical lap times, and they have just about 2 to 3 car length difference between themselves.
Yep, 4 of Jones, the 26 of Pollard. We saw Jones be good in that short run and then fall off later off in the run in the first half, and Pollard really came to life in the second half of that run. See if that's what happens here. I'll tell you what, I'm impressed with the 08 of Jeremy Doss, by the way. Doss running in the 3rd spot in that 08 car. Doss was towards the tail end of the lead lap.
Yeah, I would say the most improved since our break and our halfway pit stop would be that 3rd place car. As he came in, made some adjustments, and look like he made all the right adjustments, as he is now just about 1 second behind our leader.
08 of Doss just announced he's going to be in the battle at Berlin. He's from Upper Lake, California. Doss, the 2023 Deep South Cranes Blizzard Series champion in that Hamkey car.
We are down to 50 laps to go in this 150 lap feature. 100 down, 50 to go. Our current leader is the number 4 of Eric Jones with about a 0.7 second lead over the 2nd place of Bubba Pollard. 3rd place, the 08 of Jeremy Doss.
Yeah, you gotta look at that 08 car. Elrod Motorsports machine.
As he's getting ready to battle and have a mirror full of our 2nd place car, the 26 of Pollard, as they go into turns 3 and 4, and he takes the inside groove, and it's side by side drag race as they come down the front stretch with Pollard just a slight advantage.
Pollard still holding him off as the leaders put the 13 of Marhefka another lap down. Saw the battle there for a moment between Shotko and the 5. We've got a couple of good battles shaping up on the track right now. Here's Sauter going around 22 of Shotko for the 5th spot. And Sauter takes that away, trying to work his way back up to the front. And the lead in the break, but got penalized. Got sent to the back, and now trying to climb his way through traffic. Shotko running that high line. Looks like Albert Francis want to work on him as well, trying to get around it.
Yeah, a few laps ago, we were watching Sauter and Francis battle for that 6th spot. Johnny Sauter made his way, and he made that pass. Now he's up to 5th. But our battle right now seems to be that 2nd position between the 26 of Bubba and the 08 of Jeremy Doss.
Yeah, Doss climbing his way, taking his time. Still 45 laps to go in this race. Eric Jones not out of the picture. He's your leader up in front of these guys. You can still see him in the camera shot at times as not pulled too far away. As you see the 08 though of Jeremy Doss catching that 26 of Bubba Pollard. Jones about a second in front of the 26 of Pollard. The 05 of Turbush going another lap down as he gets lapped. Look at Doss trying to use the high line here through 3 and 4. Trying to pull up to him. And it looks like Bubba not giving him that line there. It's Doss this time. Look at the momentum carry on that higher side. And right around the 26 of Pollard he goes. Jeremy Doss up to the second position with 43 laps to go.
Now, I'm not counting anybody out that's up in the front 5, 6, 7 spots. However, that the 08 of Jeremy Doss, he figured his car out there. He made the corrections needed to be made as they took that halfway pit stop, and he is now our second place car, and he is back by just a little less than 1 second over our leader, the number 4 of Eric Jones.
Pollard not going away, still a car length back of the 08. 40 laps, 41 laps to go. Jones does have a 1 second lead over the 08. Eric Jones hang on to it.
Yeah, if the second half has anything to be similar with the first half, it's going to be the fact that Pollard, he got better as the race went on. So after that pit stop, the 08 seems to be having the advantage, but as the race goes on, does the 26. Is he going to repeat what he did the first half, and is he going to come back and be the dominant car here as they come out almost side by side out of turn 4?
You know, late in practice yesterday, Doss ended up coming out and ended up finishing second in practice on a later run. They had practice here for about 3 hours open yesterday. And again, different track temperatures. It was hot. The sun was out. As the sun continues to go down here and the track cools off a little bit, creating more grip. But that 08 was fast yesterday in practice. He felt he had a good car for tonight. Had kind of waited his time. That first half, he was not running up there with Jones and with Sauter and with Pollard. He was hanging out in the back. But man, after that restart, after the halfway mark, this 08 car is coming. Able to get around the 26 of Pollard for the second position. Can he get to Jones? Jones has added about 2/10 of a second to the lead since Doss got around Pollard. You would think a little bit cleaner air for Doss getting away from Pollard would help him. Pollard hanging right there with that 08 of Doss.
Yeah, Jones is enjoying that second place battle right now as he has about a 1.4 second lead over the second and third place cars of Doss and Pollard as they battle each other for that second spot. As Eric Jones continues to have that fresh air coming through his car as the battle continues to be second place between the 08s and the 26 as they go into turn 2. And we have a slow car on the track coming in the middle of turns 1 and 2, and it's the 13 of Marhefka.
That's again for Marhefka. Second caution flag called for the 13 of Marhefka with 35 laps to go. Only 2 caution flags brought out in this race, other than the competition caution at halfway. So we'll say total of 3. But 2 cautions by the 13 of Marhefka. The first time he actually got it refired on his own. This time he comes to a complete stop near the bottom exit of turn number 2. Boy, that bunches the whole field right back up there, Steve.
This is going to make some exciting racing here as some of these guys start to get a little separated. You know who's going to really enjoy this one is the 8th place car, the 92 of Jared Barclay. He was about half a lap, maybe a little over half a lap down behind our leader. Now this is going to bunch things up. Hopefully he has something that he can continue to be a battle as we have 8 cars on our lead lap as they come across the start-finish line under these caution laps.
While we have a second, do want to thank our sponsors, Kingston Supply, Northern Screening, Dale Oxygen, Croyle Nielsen Therapeutic Associates, MTA Arms, Rusty Musket Distilling, Chemstream, Dumbald's Tire, Community Life, W. Jeffrey Carey and Associates, UMH Properties Home Sales, the Somerset Single County Authority for Drug and Alcohol, and Highlands Equipment. Thank you to our sponsors that make racing possible here at Jennerstown Speedway. The yellow coming out with 35 laps to go in our 150-lap, $10,000 to win Motor Mountain Masters. Shaping up for what is just almost like a typical late model race on a Saturday night.
This is a great late model race kind of night on a Thursday night, and just 5-6 days ago, we had a wonderful night of racing here at Jennerstown Speedway, as well as we had a beautiful fireworks night here, sponsored by J.R. Tunstall Auto and Truck Repair. Joe and the guys at J.R. Tunstall Auto and Truck Repair put on one heck of a fireworks show here just a few days ago, this past Saturday here at Jennerstown. So for those of you that stuck around, watched the exciting 7 divisions of racing here just a few days ago, as well as the wonderful fireworks display, we welcome you all back and thank you.
You can see the 22 of Evan Shotko in the pits, the right rear off of that car. Team climbing up underneath there. Shotko was running in the 7th position on the lead lap before that caution came out, and now has brought it down to pit road. He's still inside the car, the team with the right rear off of it, well up underneath that machine. This is the 2-time defending winner of this race. He's the only one that's ever won this race more than once. A couple of big names have won it. Derek Griffith has put on the crimson jacket. You see the 26 of Pollard pulling onto pit road as well, making sure he's in the right position. The 26 of Pollard was running 3rd before he brought this thing in. See the team, I think they have to watch. There we go, we get it pushed off and going. So Pollard had stopped for a moment. He was running in the 3rd spot. Doss had gotten around him. Pollard comes back out, but now we'll go to the tail end of the field. 35 laps to go. Eric Jones out in front. Jeremy Doss running 2nd. They'll restart on the front row. Johnny Sauter and Michael Atwell in row number 2. Johnny Sauter, again, had led a lot of that first half of the race, got penalized, had to drop to the back, but now a couple of guys in front of him coming onto pit road and has worked his way through some traffic. He's right here in row number 2 on this restart with 35 to go. Marhefka, by the way, back out on the track. Colt, I don't know if you got any information down there for us.
Yeah, Nate. There really wasn't much to say as Bubba Pollard, they just had a tire check on his left rear. And Evan Shotko, as you saw in Racing America, they changed the rear tires. And I think there was a little bit of some shock to the Eric Jones crew, knowing that he was just cruising out in front, assuming that if this race would have ran all the way green, I think they probably would have been getting that crimson jacket, but now this changes everything.
Back to action here with 35 laps to go. Eric Jones restarting on the front row with the 08 of Jeremy Doss, and the 4 of Eric Jones quickly clears that 08 of Doss. Can he hold him off for the next 35 laps will be the question. And can he hold off that 5 of Johnny Sauter, who's back up to 3rd now after this restart?
Yeah, I think this is some exciting racing. That 08, he was looking forward to this caution flag as it brought him ever so closer to our leader, the number 4 Jones, as he's about 2 car lengths as they come across the backstretch.
Jones, Doss, Sauter, Atwell, Francis, your top 5. Pollard now running in the 6th spot after bringing that car onto pit road under the yellow flag. Jones and Doss pulling away. Everybody single file right now. We talked about this being a long race, but time's starting to run out. With 33 laps to go and a restart, the time to go is now.
Yeah, these guys shouldn't hold back any longer. They had about 120 laps to figure it out. I think many of them had figured it out. It's just now who has the advantage as they continue to battle in our top 3. The 4 of Jones, the 08 of Doss, and Johnny Sauter in that 3rd spot.
Here's Pollard going to work on the 33 of Albert Francis, trying to get back into the top 5. Glad to have you along here on Racing America, the UARA Motor Mountain Masters 150. First time this race has been a sanctioned UARA super late model race. Glad to have Ricky and the gang here from the UARA National Series. And a great partnership to have them bring this race to us here at Jennerstown Speedway. We've been doing this race as a late model race for 7 years now, but really cool to partner with UARA and get some of these great super late model drivers in here to our half-mile racetrack in the mountains of southwestern Pennsylvania. Albert Francis still running there in the 5th spot. Pollard's backed off a little bit. As Francis gets within a car length now of the 14 of Michael Atwell.
And these guys have dropped single file, but it looks like the only battle we have right now is for that 4th spot, as it is the 14 and the 33 as they battle coming across the front stretch.
A typical night at Jennerstown Speedway, the top division late models run 30 laps. We're underneath that now with 28 to go in the Motor Mountain Masters.
And there was some contact, and we have a spin. The 14 and the 33 make contact in the middle of 3 and 4, and the caution is out.
Yellow flag once again. The 33 and the 14 as Atwell has it parked up there in the middle of turns 3 and 4. Turbush looks like he spun just trying to avoid contact late. But we'll see if we have that on our Arsenberger Trucking replay. As the 14 and 33 get together, running in the 4th and 5th spot. And we saw the 33 of Francis pull away from Pollard, who was trying to get him, and then try to go to work on the 14 of Michael Atwell. And now Atwell has to bring that car onto pit road, and they pull the hood up. See the condition of that thing with 27 laps to go. Atwell on pit road now. You see the team jacking it up. I think we have a replay here in a moment for you on Racing America. Our producer Eric Bennett trying to pull it up for us. Here it is. Great shot here, actually. This is the lap before. Saul Francis trying to go to work here on the 14 of Atwell. Thanks to Arsenberger Trucking for being our replay sponsor. These two go down the backstretch. Let's take a look at what happens here. Yeah, 33 getting into the 14 there, and around goes the 14 of Atwell. I hear we may have another angle of it. That looks like the 14 team. You see at the end of the shot there, upset on top of the trailer.
You know, what's nice to see about that then, Nate, is the fact there was some contact. They each spun independently. There was no major damage to each car, and I think each one will be able to pull in here, make the corrections they need, and hopefully get back out on the track.
We do have another angle of it, too, from up top of the racetrack here on the Arsenberger Trucking replay. See it again as slow it down here as they go into turn number 3. Just make a little contact there, and around goes the 14 car.
We had enough contact there to spin them out and bring on our caution. However, not enough of an incident for our safety crew and our track rescue team to go out, and so far they've been incident free. They've been sitting in there. Hopefully they're enjoying the race here tonight for once.
So the 14 of Atwell still on pit road. The 33 of Albert Francis out on the track. Because of the involvement there, will get sent to the back of the field. So Francis, who was running there in that 5th spot, was challenging Atwell for the 4th spot. Now gets bounced backwards. Still Eric Jones out in front. He's led since the halfway mark after the competition caution and break where the teams could work on their cars. Johnny Sauter has worked his way back up to the 3rd spot after being penalized during that break. He was the leader at the halfway mark. Had Bubba Pollard breathing down his neck, got to the halfway mark, but got penalized during the break for working on his car too early and not staying in line. Sent to the back, but he's worked his way up. And this could make for one heck of a finish with 27 laps to go in the Motor Mountain Masters. Jeremy Doss on the outside, who was closing in at one point on the 4 of Eric Jones. We'll do this restart again. Lights are out on that Laurel Automotive Group Toyota pace truck. Cars will come to the Memorial Highway Chevrolet restart zone. Jones leading the field, back to the green. 27 to go in the Motor Mountain Masters.
Jones with that quick jump, and Johnny Sauter as well on that lower inside groove as he makes a nice quick clean jump. But the 08 in second, the 5 in third, and our battle right now is for the 4th spots.
Yeah, Jones clears the 08. The 08 running alone in second, Sauter third. And you're right, the battle's for 4th between Evan Shotko in the 22 and the 26 of Bubba Pollard.
Folks, if you were waiting for some excitement and you were waiting for the laps to count down, now's the time to strap in your seats and watch as we got to battle those top 5, 6 cars. Anybody can win this with 25 laps to go.
To go, 125 laps complete. Jones, Doss, Sauter, Pollard, and Shotko, your top 5. 24 to go this time by. You see the 14 of Atwell, after spinning, has not gotten back out onto the track, but pulling out of his pits right now. He'll rejoin a couple of laps down.
I think the 26 of Pollard, he found a new line as he was underneath the yellow. As he was going into turn 1, he's trying to find that new line and make a nice tight pass there and race and close in on that number 5.
Yeah, time running out as Eric Jones, his lead now 7/10 of a second over the 08 of Jeremy Doss. You see Sauter there in the 5, running in the 3 spot. Here does come Pollard. He's back up to 4th after pulling it onto pit road to check a tire. With 35 laps to go under caution. Things spreading out here as we get to the later portions of our Motor Mountain Masters. 7th time we've run the Motor Mountain Masters. Great crowd on hand, great drivers here. It's just really a spectacular event. I want to thank Jared Adams and the whole crew here at Jennerstown Speedway for putting this on.
A great race here so far. Just now I'm looking and I'm seeing some of these drivers starting to maybe run a little bit of a different line than they're used to. I don't know if it's the weather, the night setting in, but a couple of these drivers now is running lower, now maybe running a little bit higher, trying to find a different groove, and trying to find the advantage as they make their final laps. 20 to go.
Albert Francis, after being involved in the spin with Atwell, working his way back up and trying to get back into the top 5 here, working his way under the 22 of Evan Shotko. Those two still side by side through 3 and 4. Francis complete that pass and clear the 22 of Shotko up the front stretch and into turn 1.
Going into turn 3, Francis with that slingshot move, ducked underneath. Clearly made that pass and now is about 2 car lengths ahead across the backstretch.
Jones continuing to pull away over a second lead over second place Jeremy Doss. Gap now 1.2 seconds. It's 2.3 back to the 3rd place car of Johnny Sauter, who has a rear view mirror full of the 26 of Bubba Pollard.
Yeah, I think Johnny's watching more in his rear view than he is out his windshield right now, as there is almost, you could put a hair between them two as they come out of turn 4.
Pollard right to the bumper of the 5 of Sauter in the middle of 3 and 4. Here he is again within a car length of the exit of turn 2. Eric Jones at the stripe right now, 15 laps to go. Sauter trying to hold off Pollard. Battle for the 3rd spot. front stretch there at the stripe. It's all Eric Jones out in front. His lead up to almost 1.4 seconds over the 08 of Jeremy Doss.
Yeah, the distance between third and fourth place, though, is about maybe a tire width as they come out of turn 4 and across our finish line. The number 5 of Sauter with that advantage, but he's still being challenged by the 26 of Pollard. And again, just less than maybe half a car length as they go across the backstretch. Our leader, Jones, with a now 1.63 second advantage over our second place car, the 08 of Doss. And our battle continues to be that third position. The number 5 of Sauter, the 26 of Pollard, as there is yet no more than a car length distance between the two as they come across the front stretch.
It's been a fun race. I've had a couple of different leaders and lead changes. Eric Jones led early in this one. Led the first 23 laps. Johnny Sauter came up. Jones took the lead at halfway, and now he leads with 10 laps to go.
Yeah, 10 laps to go, and we have Johnny Sauter falling back as he is off the pace coming out of turn 2.
Yeah, the 5 car running right there with Pollard. He drops the window net. That 5 car is slow on the backstretch. Looks like he's headed to pit road.
Yeah, unfortunate to see that. He was one of the fan favorites here tonight, but he obviously has trouble as he is slowly making his way around the inside into turn 3.
He led the majority of the first half of this race, about over 50 laps. That 5 car paced the field, but now slow on the apron and just coasting onto pit road with 8 laps to go. Sauter, who worked his way back through the field after being penalized during the break, brings it and will park it in the pits with just a few laps left. Eric Jones at the line now with 7 to go. And that's disappointing for Johnny Sauter after having such a great run in the first half of this race.
Yeah, previous winner here at Jennerstown, he was looking forward to making it back to victory lane. Doing a great job so far tonight, but unfortunately had some troubles. Had to make it off of the track. And now we are down to about 6 laps to go as our leader has about a 2-second advantage over second place at Doss.
5-star race car body machine of Sauter going to need a push down pit road as it's all Eric Jones out in front. His lead now over 2 seconds in front of the 08 of Jeremy Doss. He's done nothing but extend his lead after each of the cautions where he's had to restart on the front row.
Yeah, he said earlier in the Q&A out under the midway, he's just excited to win here tonight as he would be to win Saturday or Sunday whenever he runs in the cup races, whether he wins the pole or he wins the race itself. He is just as excited to win here tonight. And it looks like he has about 4 laps to maintain that lead to become the winner tonight.
Sauter has pulled it into the pits. 4 laps to go for the 4 car of Eric Jones. This time by, it'll be 3 to go. Former Cup Series champion in his own right, or a Truck Series champion in his own right, a Cup Series driver makes the way to Jennerstown Speedway. Did the Q&A session, was handing out autographs. He's been like a rock star here at our half-mile racetrack. And he has the lead now with just 2 laps to go.
Yeah, what's cool about his visit here, he just didn't fly in for this race and flying right out. He's been here since Tuesday. He stayed in a local house. He's been spending some time here in the Laurel Mountains. Came to practice this week, and here he is with the lead coming down to the white flag.
White flag waves. Final lap for Eric Jones. Owns his own late model team. That 4 cars been fast at other tracks. He was the fastest in practice yesterday. He dominates the second half of this race. The 7th annual Motor Mountain Masters goes to Eric Jones.
Second place, the 08 of Jeremy Doss. Third place, the 26 Bubba Pollard. Fourth goes to the 33 of Francis. 22 of Shotco finishes in 5th. And your local guy, the 92 Jared Barkley, finishes 6th.
$10,000 and the crimson jacket to the 4 of Eric Jones. We're going to step aside here. When we come back, Colton Tobias will be down in victory lane with our winner, Eric Jones, at the Motor Mountain Masters.
Hey, I'm Bo Parr, and you're watching Racing America.
Welcome to the home of all race fans, Racing America, live short track racing.
Looking for the green flag, and the Snowball Derby is underway.
Exclusive NASCAR Cup team content.
Enjoy competing with your teammates.
You already know.
Behind the scenes access.
Great car, puts on a great show. I'm excited for that.
Claim your front row seat to watch the excitement.
Mission accomplished.
And drama.
Car lifts up in the air.
From grassroots to NASCAR. Join us at the home for race fans everywhere.
You're watching Racing America.
Right here on Racing America.
Racing America. It's in our DNA.
Communication is key in the racing world. When it comes to at-the-track communications, there is only one place to call. Racing Electronics is the #1 source for professional race communications worldwide. Over 20 years in the business proves their dedication to the sport. With every driver and crew communication, two-way radios and headsets, scanners and more, Racing Electronics is a one-stop communication source for all your motorsports needs. Before the green flag flies, make sure you have all your team communication gear from Racing Electronics. Stop by and see a Racing Electronics representative at the track near you. Visit their showroom in Concord, North Carolina, or order online at racingelectronics.com.
Get up on your feet, race fans.
Can you believe it?
Right now, racing, in my opinion, is as healthy as it's been in the last 15 to 20 years.
Just wanted to make that first lap.
Go!
It's gotta be the wildest ride in the world.
We've not heard anything.
Byron, Michigan zone in his first trip to Jennerstown Speedway. He parks it on the start-finish line here at Jennerstown, and he takes home $10,000 for winning the 7th annual Motor Mountain Masters. Well, Eric, congratulations. How does it feel to add Jennerstown Speedway to the list of tracks you have won at?
It's fun. I had a fun race. I mean, had a good car. The first stage, we were just loose, and I saw the 5 and the 26 there were pretty good, and Mike here made some good adjustments at the brake and got car good, had a good restart, and you're kind of able to maintain from there. Our long run was tough there at the beginning. I kept going free, and I was kind of happy about the yellows. I felt like once I could cool my stuff down that it'd be good. So just cool though, fast racing product, Chase Plastics on here, and yeah, first super win of the year, so hopefully keep the momentum rolling.
And how do you hope to keep this momentum going as you head to Pocono for your race Sunday?
I mean, it's always good to win, right? No matter what you're driving, where you're at, and what you're doing. So, I try to. I love to have at least one win a year, right? And it's fun to add one on the resume here, and a first-time track. So, thank you guys who came out tonight. This is a great facility, great people, great place, great track. A lot of fun to race on. So, thank you guys for coming. And yeah, it's fun. Hopefully, keep it going.
The 7th annual Motor Mountain Masters goes to Eric Jones. Guys, back up to you.
Thanks, Colton. Why don't you make your way down there? The top 5 have parked on the front stretch. Jeremy Dawson, the 08, finishes 2nd. Bubba Pollard 3rd in the 26. Albert Francis and Evan Shotko rounding out the top 5. And Colton, as Eric Jones gets his pictures in victory lane with that 4 machine, why don't you head down there and see who else you can talk to?
Yeah, we got Jeremy Dawson over here, Upper Lake, California's own, as Jeremy going from coast to coast, and he takes 2nd place in the annual Motor Mountain Masters. Jimmy, well, so not too bad for your first time here. How does it feel to come home runner-up knowing this is the first time you've raced here?
It feels pretty good. Obviously, we always want to finish one spot better than this, but I just want to thank Tony and Amber Elrod for the opportunity. Hamke Race Cars, Cody Glick, Ernest Performance, Sports Action Films, just everyone who's on board with this program. Cars in one piece, I don't think there's a mark on it. Can build on this. I think we were just a little bit off right at the end, but congrats to Eric on the win, and we'll get him next time.
Yeah, do you think there was anything you could have did a little better knowing Eric just kept dashing away after those restarts?
Not really. Maybe if we probably pitted with like 40 to go and maybe worked on the car. That was my decision. I chose not to pit. I thought we might have been good enough, but right at the end, it showed itself, and just need to be a little bit better.
Jeremy Doss goes coast to coast from California all the way to Pennsylvania, and he comes home with a second-place finish in the 7th annual Motor Mountain Masters. As we see Bubba Pollard and Albert Francis over here, we're going to go talk to those guys right now. As Bubba Pollard, we talked about getting a win in the Cars Tour a few years ago, and Bubba Pollard comes home in a third-place finish. So, Bubba, how was the race for you, especially on that second stage as you come home with a third-place finish?
The second stage, it wasn't too good. We just super tight. Just stagger closed up on us and made it for a long 75 laps. But we knew when we fired off right there, we was in trouble. But it's part of it. We just got to do a better job with tires and just learning what we need to do to be better to last long. The first run, it was pretty good, and we didn't really make any adjustments. All we did was put the 2 tires on it. So I don't know. We'll just we'll keep working on it.
And where are you racing next, and how do you hope to carry this podium finish into your next race?
Yeah, just we're going to Nashville tomorrow and Saturday, so hopefully we can have a good run there. And it's in one piece tonight, and I can't thank Terry Seneker and Seneker Performance, everyone involved, for letting me drive their race car this weekend and to have some fun.
Bubba Pollard comes home third in his third start at Jennerstown Speedway. Now we're going to move along to the pole sitter coming home in a fourth-place finish, and that is Albert Francis. Albert, we were talking during the stage break that you were a little tight. How was the car handling as you guys advanced through stage 2?
Kind of trended with the same problem. I was just a little snug in through the center, and I just couldn't put the power down on exit. It was just really hard to pass like that. So, we could get within a couple car lengths of people, and then arrow-wise, we just get real tight, and I couldn't do nothing with them unless I shadowed them lower, but everybody was protecting bottom. It was just really hard to pass.
How does it feel, though, to salvage home a top 5 finish here in a race that you have raced at so many times before?
It's good. It's definitely different in a super than it was in a crate car. It definitely drives a lot different. It's definitely a handful, a lot of fun, a lot of close racing. So,
Albert Francis comes home fourth, and now we are going to move along to our 5th place finisher as Evan Shocko, missing the three-peat by 4 positions, as Evan Shocko does get a top 5 finish here in the Motor Mountain Masters. So, Evan, a top 5 finish, even though you guys just missed out on getting the three-peat. How was the car as you guys went into stage 2?
The first stage was pretty good. It fired off the second stage pretty good, and all of a sudden it was like light switch. The car was terrible. So I don't know what happened. I don't know if we just missed it or if something broke. I'm not quite sure, but just wasn't our night.
Yeah, and how does it feel, though, even though that you fall a little bit short of the three-peat, to still come home with a top 5 finish, knowing you've won this race 2 years in a row?
Yeah, it's cool. I just know we had a better piece than what we showed, and I'm pretty bummed out. I would have liked to have at least been competitive, but it is what it is.
Where are you going to be racing next?
I'm not quite sure yet.
Okay, so Evan Shocko just missing out on getting the three-peat here in the 7th annual Motor Mountain Masters as he comes out 5th. As the top 5 is as follows: Evan Shocko, Albert Francis, Bubba Pollard, Jeremy Doss, and Eric Jones getting P1 tonight, guys.
Thanks so much, Colton. Thanks for all your help down there on pit road. Good job tonight. Steve, great race. Eric Jones, just a dominant car in that second half.
Yeah, that was an exciting race to watch. The first half was fun. The second half was just as enjoyable. We had some different competitions both times. So it was good to see everybody come out tonight. It was good to see these guys win. And congratulations to our first-time winner here at Jennerstown, the number 4. Of Eric Jones.
Yeah, on behalf of the Speedway, thank you to Eric Jones and Bubba Pollard and Jeremy Doss and Albert Francis and Evan Shotko, Johnny Sauter, the whole crew, all these guys who came out here to put on this show. We appreciate them taking the time to come to our half-mile racetrack. We have a lot of fun each and every Saturday night. If you like what you saw here on Racing America or you're in the stands for the first time, we hope you join us. We're here every Saturday night running our late models and pro stocks and modifieds and 4-cylinders, and we have a blast here, and I just love this Speedway and how much fun we have and the great racing it puts on.
And the Crown Vic Northeast, which is becoming a fan favorite here as well. They've run as a few races, and everybody's enjoying seeing those here at Jennerstown.
So Eric Jones picks up his first win ever here at Jennerstown Speedway in the 7th Annual Motor Mountain Masters. And, of course, thanks to the whole crew at the UARA National Series for bringing this race here and partnering with the Speedway for the Motor Mountain Masters. Tell you what, really liked working with the UARA folks and glad they decided that they wanted to be a part of the Motor Mountain Masters.
Yeah, those guys were fun to work with. They're easy to work with. They know what they're doing out there. They know how it works, so it was definitely enjoyable working side by side with those guys on the track and up here in the booth.
And a special thanks to our Racing America broadcast crew, John Foster, Eric Bennett, Sydney Metz, all of our camera guys. Brandon Bennett, I think, is here as well. Connor's here, I think, and Mike. And Matt, not Mike, but want to thank all those guys as well. For our pit reporter, Colton Tobias, our general manager, Jared Adams, my partner, Steve Borowski, I'm Nate Rigotti, signing off tonight from Jennerstown Speedway. Eric Jones wins the 7th Annual Motor Mountain Masters. Have a good night.